Hello, everyone. I'm Gandair of the gaming clan, Vato Clan, and this is Dominion Breakdown Episode 3, where we're going to talk about the preseason patch changes, what they mean to Dominion, and we're going to go over the very recent Vi patch as well. As I said, I'm Gandair, and I've got two guests with me. Guests, you wanna introduce yourselves so I don't refer to you as guests? That's kind of mean.
Okay, I'm guest number one, and our other friend is guest number two.
There we go.
Hi, guests 1 and 2.
Okay, I'm half-hearted. I used to play on PEX, but now I'm just sort of like a freeloader. And I
I'm,
specialize in AP champions in Dominion.
and I'm Nix. I have no team currently. I would like to play on a team though. I currently stream for Dominate Dominion, and I primarily play bottom lane because no one else wants to do it. But I do it willingly as well.
There's a pun
That's
about bottom lane
Mordekaiser.
and best lane, and let's not go there.
Mordekaiser S #1 in the bot lane. Let me just tell you.
Got that Ari, got that sustain, man. This
Yeah.
episode, we're going to be talking about... I did that. We know what we're going to be talking about anyway. So, let's get on with these things. There was a patch, and it was a pretty big patch, and I actually couldn't find an easily viewable thing for it on Riot's site, unfortunately. In their timeline, it was a little flash thing that was, like, tiny, and it was really hard to read. So, I'm actually going to read the patch changes on WallWiki, or whatever that site is called. This was the preseason patch. It added a couple of skins and things, and it added Nami. It did the big whole item overhaul and jungle changes, mastery changes. A whole lot of things happened in this game mode, and we're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over the general changes though first, though, as soon as I find them. We don't care about Summoner's Rift. Scroll right on past that. This thing just keeps going and going. Okay, Crystal Scar. Some things happened. The global mana regeneration aura went up by a half a percentage point. It went up from... It's now 2% bonus regeneration per 1% of mana. Missing from 1.5. Guys, do we notice this change? Does this have a lot of impact? Is this something you guys feel in day-to-day gameplay?
Oh yes. Totally.
It's not that big it was reverting a previous change. Like, that's actually how it was reverted. Like, the Aura originally used to do that, but then I think Gnome was experimenting with lowering the mana regen, trying to do something about bruisers, but it ended up not affecting bruisers and just hurting mages instead, so they changed it back, and it feels good.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. A lot of mages were just 2 mana intensive, so you'd have like Swain or Anivia, and then using their ultimates or just casting spells like normal, and then they run out of mana. Well, at the end of the day, if all the champions are out of mana, bruisers still smash your face in. So it didn't quite work out. So I'm glad that they reverted that.
Okay, so that's just taking a step back in time, and I found the bigger section. Start with movement speed, just as listed on the thing. Movement speed bonus on all boots, which completely invalidates Dominion Breakdown number 0, by the way. That I spent 2 hours talking about
Not
boots.
completely. The basics still stay the same.
We're going to have to do an episode 0.5. We'll get the crew back together for that. But the movement speed bonus on all boot items has been reduced by 25. And the base movement speed on all champions has been increased by 25. So on paper, this means no change initially, right?
I believe so.
Because everyone gets
it-
boots.
It does feel better for, like, a couple situations where, like, I have seen, like, the occasional, like, Sheen start champions or, like, Brutalizer start, and it just feels better if you, like, start, like, without that extra movement speed, because, like, like, it is sort of, like, it's a better trade-off now. Like, before it was, like, this huge trade-off, like, you're losing 50 movement speed, and now it's not so bad. So, like, sometimes, you know, like, I could, like, start, like, Prospector's Blade and Longsword or something on 80 carry if I wanted to just have, like, an early game dominance, and it feels better if I do that.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It also lets you get around the map faster at the earlier stages. And then champions that have like the lowest base movement speed don't feel as slow, like Morgana. Also, it lets you hit the soft cap faster as well on movement speed based on percentages. Just because you already, like, if you get boots tier 2, you're a little bit higher than previous.
Actually, I think it's the exact same.
It's a little bit different. Like champions are hitting the 400 mark if they're a bit faster. Like Aurelia can hit the 400 mark with boots tier 2, and she cannot do that previously unless she spec'd into runes and masteries to get the movement speed boost.
Hmm.
But
right.
it's a very minor difference. It's like maybe 5 or 10 movement speed.
That explains why I see some values like 403 and 407 on champs that used to go 395.
Yeah.
Because if they get like the 1.5 or 2.5 increase or whatever it is, then that'll kick them up just over the 400 mark. I didn't think about that.
And I'm not sure. I read somewhere that the movement speed quintessences are not as strong anymore because of that, because of the change that they did to base movement speed.
Those weren't used, like... I heard that those quints did fall out of favor a little while ago, though, and were sort of more of a situational buy now.
I've always been a movement speed fan, just like because like I play like range squishy stuff, so like the faster I move, the easier it is to stay alive. So
So this puts everyone kind of more on a similar speed than they used to be. Like the deficits aren't as low anymore, kind of thing.
Yes,
Is that what happens?
that's
All right.
pretty much what has occurred.
Now the next spot on the list is the basic cost for stats. Now this seems to be more of like an internal thing. It looks like attack damage is valued more cheaply on items, where attack speed is now valued more highly on items, which I guess is going to mean either increases in gold cost or decreases in the stat at the current gold cost on items. And I think we'll get to the item readjustment a little later on. Armor and MR seems to have had its seems to be more of a heavy stat, and a lot of basic items have had their stuff adjusted. How do you guys feel about the armor MR being more difficult to get as per what this suggests, and the same for attack speed?
Do you want to take it half-hearted?
I suppose so. I actually, I feel like it sort of balances out. Like armor has gotten more expensive, but at the same time, like you have like Frozen Heart now builds out of like Warden's Mail, which is just like really really easy, like really easy, just low cost, inexpensive build up. And I mean, like the extra 120 gold for like a chain vest, it is a little bit noticeable. Like I do feel it, but I mean at the same time, it means that like bruisers or tanks can't itemize against me as quickly, so it does feel nice. Like I haven't really noticed it too much, like especially with like the Black Claver Maiden. Like I didn't notice it at all, but like people are still building not as tanky as they did before, so it's always a nice feeling when you can kill people.
I would have to agree with what HaIfhearted said. Although I will say that I feel like the increase in cost and the decrease in value, like the amount you get for what you pay, has basically made it so that if you are a squishy, it is very, very unlikely that or very unfavorable for you to actually purchase any kind of magic resistance or armor, particularly with the way the penetration system has changed. Because even if you get that chain vest to try and stop Talon from bursting you down, it's not going to help much.
At that point, Talon already has his Black Cleaver and his Last Whisper, so it just ignores the entire chain vest.
Yeah, so it's kind of pushed like AP carries and AD carries into this area where they just build pure damage and try to keep away from people who can burst them down in seconds.
Do you think this might lead to a little bit more of the sort of glass cannoning that we saw in the very, not necessarily the completely early days, but in that earlier November to January when Dominion came out, when it was like all AD Zeals and IEs and stuff? Or do you think it's going to be relatively the same, but just with an overall increase in fragility?
I think so. I've actually noticed that I've been able to go on rampages with damage dealers who are innately tanky, or who have like I play Mordekaiser a lot, and a lot of people just are like, screw building magic resist or armor, and I usually build Mordekaiser pure damage. So his shield is rapidly scaling up as long as I'm hitting spells. So I mean, it makes him tanky but damagey at the same time. And since these champions have no magic resist and just pure health, I'm able to just shred right through them fairly easily. And I do believe that we are seeing that, and we're seeing a lot of movement away from off tanks. So your tanks are like Alistar, who has his ultimate to tank, Leona, who has an incredibly strong steroid with her Eclipse, and I can't. There's a third one out there. I can't think for the life of me. But those are the champions that are basically the tanks. You're seeing a lot of champions like Singed is falling out of favor. Even Jarvan, to an extent, is falling out of favor in terms of a peeler. He's going pure damage now, rushing Black Cleaver, just because he can no longer build tanky and still dish out the amount of damage he wants or survive. I don't know if you feel the same way, Half-Hearted.
Yeah, it does seem accurate.
All right, that all makes sense. Now it says that there were changes on the gold premiums for third tier items. I guess there's some sort of internal change for the way that items merge, costing more for their stranger effects of items as opposed to just the flat normal statistics that you get from them. Did this really do anything to costs in builds currently? Are there any items that are just kind of like, whoa, that's a little expensive, or whoa, this is not as good as it used to be? Did that have, what did that impact the most?
You see, well, because of the price changes and a lot of the different components, they had to adjust a lot of the premium items. And not to mention, they've stated multiple times that the higher the tier of the item that you purchased, the stronger it was for the gold that you invested into it. So like Infinity Edge was incredibly strong for its combined cost, which was like 375. And it gave you an additional like 15 AD and then a little bit of crit chance, and then the passive was insanely powerful whenever you crit. And so they just I think they just pulled it a little bit more in line than previously thought, because it's like our game is based around farming, so people are farming to get these huge dollar items. We cannot make them as powerful, and that's kind of why they're getting hit here and there.
Do you think that makes it less, like, it feels like you wouldn't want to try and rush some of the big items anymore like you might have wanted to before?
Well, it does feel better like building some things piecemeal.
Yeah, being able to go middle tier item, then start completing stuff later, as opposed to, I have to finish this before I get this next thing, or it's hideously ineffective.
Well, I actually don't know about that. Like, I mean, like what I found, like in my experience playing like tanky or AP carries and like AD carries, like is that like my builds haven't really changed at all. I can still build like all mostly the same items in roughly the same order. Although, like, if I do grab a Frozen Heart, I usually end up picking a Warden's Mail first, just for the passive. But, yeah, I found that, like, in general, like, for me personally, it just hasn't changed too much. What about you, Nix?
I would actually have to say the same. I just feel that you're not as powerful when you complete a certain or a specific item. Yeah, it gives you the things that you want. Like, Warden's Mail is still powerful, but they took away part of its passive, so now it just slows attack speeds. And then when you build it into Frozen Heart, it only slows not the total attack speed that they have, but it lowers the amount of attack speed that they have currently, and not lowers it from the total amount, I believe.
I think Randuin's is a lot more powerful than before, and so is Warden's, just because, like, it is a guaranteed proc. You don't have to wait for it to go off.
I think Randuin's is powerful because of that effect, and because it provides a lot more health than it used to.
Yeah, that is one of the main reasons why, like, I built Randuin's.
So I think you're gonna kind of see people.
Randuin's is one of the best item. Randuin's is probably like the best defensive armor item for any squishy champion, just because of like the extra health and the proc helping you kite.
Yeah. I think it's going to replace Frozen Heart eventually in terms of the armor item to get against auto attackers.
You guys agree a lot. Who likes cats?
I love
No, I
cats.
hate cats.
There we go.
What?
I have dogs. Who needs cats when you have
How many dogs
dogs?
plural? How many
Because
dogs?
dogs are so stupid. They like you let them outside and then they
What?
willingly come back to you. Like it's like the kind of
Dogs.
dumb animal goes back to his captors.
A dog appreciates you. A cat, you could be trapped in a well, you could be trapped in a river, you could be dying, and the cat won't care. The cat is cold and uncaring and evil.
The dog would be too stupid to care, honestly. But
Bullshit. The dog would bark and go fetch help.
Did you know that every time a cat just inexplicably darts out of the room, and you're like, what the hell was that? It's because it was trying to kill you and it failed.
is that I heard it was basically chasing away demons, but that might have been something else.
Maybe if this was an episode of Yu Yu Hakusho or something. I think everyone watched that when they were little. Alright, let's see what you guys think about penetration, because I think that it's something that everyone should have all the time, every day of their lives. It's can you get into these things without penetration? It seems like a stat that you have to have.
Without turning this dirty, penetration is good.
That was the
Um,
check to see if we were 8 or not.
I will say that I really, it pains me to say this, but I really hate the way penetration works now.
The
Yeah.
percent before flat is what I'm
Yes.
referring to for viewers that can't read. I don't know if they can read the text or not on the screen.
They basically took the fact that squishies could build one item to try and help mitigate burst and said no. You're always going to be dealt true damage. If you're Vayne, if you're, Malzahar, you have to build like 2 major armor items against a singular Black Cleaver or a Last Whisper, and otherwise you're being dealt true damage. And it's
Yeah.
just like so. It's kind of like why am I building this item? Like why do I want to build Frozen Fist or what is it, Iceborne Gauntlet?
Yeah, Iceborne Gauntlet. I still call it Frozen Fist though, just because it sounds better.
Well, they don't want you Frozen Fisting people all day, so.
It's true.
But like that only has applicable. You only purchase it on champions that are good at kiting, like Ezreal or a support that wants the proc. But I mean, you don't build it for the armor. You don't care. You could care less about the
Yeah.
armor that's on it. It's primarily for that slow proc.
Yeah, all my defensive items that I've been building either have like health or they have some sort of unique passive, like a shield from the maul that helps me stay alive.
Yeah.
Like, like if the defensive item I'm buying only has armor, like I don't care because that armor isn't worth hardly anything.
And so, and like, I know it's supposed to make AD casters stronger, but in Dominion, we really did not need that. You're seeing Pantheon and Talons and like Lee Sins run around and just crushing teams.
Yeah, like Kha'Zix was already ridiculously powerful, and it just like with the changes now, he just goes around shredding everything.
So like, I've actually you kind of see this like a homogenization of item builds where it's if you're an AP caster, you go Sork Shoes, haunting guys into Blackfire Torch, and then usually Void Staff. And then if you're AD, it's Brutalizer into Black Cleaver into Last Whisper. And I feel like we've hit the extreme of cookie cutter item builds now because of the change of penetration. And because that pen is so strong now as opposed to building actual damage.
So, is there though I play in every game that I play, I love mages. They're my favorite things. First off, does match resist reduction get applied in the same order that it used to? Is it only pen that's swapped? Does MRR still come before pen?
I believe all the percentage and flats swapped, so it's percentage reduction, percentage reduction, flat reduction, percentage penetration, and then flat penetration.
Okay, that's kind of scary then.
Yes.
Now,
So you have champions like Wukong and Jarvan who are using Last Whisper to great effect because they can reduce you by percentage and then penetrate you by percentage.
it's one of the
And
things that I don't think a lot of people actually are aware about Wukong. If you don't play as Wukong or you aren't terribly familiar with him, Crushing Blow is an armor reduction effect, which is one of the reasons why Wukong gets used a lot in this game mode, because he's sort of anti to the tankiness that everyone likes to build.
he has
Wukong,
he is sorry, go ahead.
yeah. All right, sorry. Wukong has like a pretty decent amount of upfront burst, good utility, and like on top of like the armor shred, like his ultimate is just like this huge AOE physical damage knock up thing, which just makes winning team fights a lot easier. So Wukong has a lot going for him, and like the changes to like the way penetrations work just make him that much stronger.
That was a really, really good tie-in to the topic that kept us from running away talking about Wukong for 10 minutes. And that's why he works so well with penetration. I need you as a co-caster. Sometimes I end up in Oz when I'm by myself.
That's
Yelling
fine.
spider for an entire cast.
Oh god, that was awesome.
It's either the best or worst VOD that we've ever produced.
Both. You just
Um,
broke.
it was...
All
I
right.
was so
So
happy about that.
so back on the topic.
Yeah, I had a thought. I actually played a minion. It's weird, I know. And I feel like that there is... I feel like it hasn't been discovered, but I think there's going to be a sort of a sweet spot, sort of a magic number kind of thing, with ability power, where you get to a certain amount plus your pen, and that's going to give you a reliable amount of damage based off of what you can estimate the enemy's magic resist being. Because if you look at what the most popular magic resist items are, especially not having to worry about Fawn anymore, which was a big number item, which, like, you didn't overcome with just one item. It took, like, an item and a half to deal with that thing. Your basic amount of pen that you get if you're going, like, Sork Guys, or if you're going, Sork Guys runes, however you want to, double pen, trippin, whatever, it seems like you could negate, what, 2 items easily off of flat pen alone before, but now if you go double pen Void Staff, does that give you more than the Trippin did before with the average amount of MR that people buy?
Mm,
That's what I'm curious about the most with the pen changes. Is with the priority difference, can you sort of put your runes into something else and do like the Sork BFT Void Staff in your build? Or, I mean, maybe you could always get Merc Treads or a defensive shoe and then be able to pick up, Pen Runes Guys Void Staff for the same effect.
usually I usually just go like Sorks, Guys, and Void regardless, just because like it lets me hit squishies and tanks alike.
Yeah.
And I mean like why stop at like like there's no kill like overkill like why stop at just penetrating like 70 magic resist when I can go for like 90 or 100 or 150 or however much it is.
So you just think that going for the maximum amount of penetration is going to be effective?
Yeah.
Yep.
Early
And a
on
lot
in the game, though, don't you just... Isn't a lot of that wasted, though, at certain points? Because...
Not really. Like the longer, like most people running magic resist per level blues, and everyone like as long as mages are hurting people a lot, like they're eventually going to pick up some form of magic resist. So like the longer the game goes on, like the better my penetration gets, because it scales with their penetration or scales with their resistances. So like
Yeah,
what I
that
do is like
penetration.
yeah, so I just pick up like early penetration, like like you said, like guys, sorks, void staff. Then I start building damage, and by the time people start building resistances, I don't care because I have a shit ton of penetration.
Yeah, it basically makes it so that you can buy as much penetration as you want early and not care about it. You don't feel bad about purchasing that brutalizer or hunting guys alongside the void staff because it's going to count no matter what.
Okay, so new follow-up to this. Why buy Hex Drinker and stuff now?
Because Hex Drinker gives
Do you think that items like that, the Null Magic Mantle items, might be less desirable is because of this change, and Negatron items might become more favored?
I actually think the Hex Drinker is better because of it, because it gives you a shield. Like it basically gives you like extra like
Effective health.
yeah, it almost gives you, it basically almost directly gives you health. And in an age where resistances are incredibly weak because of the massive amount of penetration, health is the best defensive stat in the game. So anything with like a shield, like Hex Drinker, or like health, like actual health, like Randuin's, like that's really strong.
Yeah. The item that you're purchasing or combining really needs to have multiplicative stats now. Otherwise, it's a complete waste. So if you're building a pure magic resistance item or a pure armor item, that is a complete waste of gold, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
If
needs
you're
to have
purchasing,
some sort of like health on it, or it needs to have some sort of unique passive, like Odin's Veil has like a 10% magic damage reduction. Like that's still really strong, I think.
So there's
not
really
to
no
mention,
point to just cover yourself in null magic mantles until they can't actually see where you are underneath them anymore, right?
Nope.
that doesn't work.
It makes for a great Halloween costume, though.
Yeah, it's like Booberry and everyone's old strat of like getting like double Negatron cloaks. I wouldn't even bother with that anymore. I'd rather just get health.
Yeah.
What
And that's
is an equivalent gold cost to double Negatron cloak that could be used in place of it?
Uh,
What's that, like 1,500 gold ish?
yeah, it's like 1,500 gold. I would say like
1,480?
I would just complete an item like you have either
yeah,
Odin's Veil if you're a tank, or if you just wanna absorb as much
Oh, wait,
magic
doesn't
damage
this
as
make
possible.
Odin's Veil more amazing?
yep,
Yep, you got it.
That's just flat 10% reduced.
yeah. Odin's Veil just takes off like 10% of all magic damage you take, and like it's really really good
I'm
at shutting
so
that
glad you
energy
guys
curve.
play casters.
And actually, I actually like Bulwark a lot now too. Like Bulwark is an amazing item. It's the Aegis upgrade.
Yeah,
Like
that
because it gives you health, it gives you a pretty decent chunk of magic resist. It gives you a bit of armor too. Not that actually means anything, but it's nice to have. And it gives your whole entire team like 30 magic resist, and that's actually pretty dang strong.
it helps against those AOE mages.
Yeah.
Uh, Particularly if you're trying to protect somebody, or if you're just trying to stop a lot of the stray AOE from killing off your team.
Yeah. Like
The
like Bulwark has like 400 health, and health is good, as I've already said, right?
Mhm.
And on top of that, like it has like a ton of magic resist, and it gives your teammates magic resist too. Like so, it's incredibly gold efficient, and just it's really good at stopping magic bursts.
Hmm.
I've actually started I've actually started like getting Bulwark on my mages too, like brands late game. Like if I need magic resist item, I can start working on like I get like I get like double a null magic mantle, and then go for like Aegis Bulwark.
Yeah. I'd also like if you're based on sustain, like Mundo, or I was playing a Vlad game earlier today. I purchased what's it, Spirit Visage, which builds out of a Negatron cloak, and so it
Ooh.
gives you health, magic resist, and it strengthens your regeneration. So I
And
mean,
cooldowns.
yeah, exactly, yeah, cooldowns as well.
Yeah, Visage is another amazing item in season 3. Like I really like. I've gotten Visage on brand a few times now, even though I had like absolutely no spell vamp whatsoever, because it's health, it's cooldown reduction, which gives me damage, and it's magic resist. Like it gives you like a whole ton of good stats.
So you're seeing a push towards more multiplicative. Like hit points is much more important now than resistances, and so going for that multiplicative stats on combine is the more important thing. So you just don't, if you're facing against like heavy MR team or a heavy magic damage team, you don't just stack Negatron cloaks because you're just going to blow up anyway because you have very little health. You want to get like a giant spell or a ruby crystal, then combine it into something awesome.
Gotcha. You got anything else to say about penetration?
Um, Anything else about penetration? I think they need to still look at Black Cleaver, and I really don't like its passive of reduction.
Yeah, I think that Black Cleaver, like what they could do with it, like they could just completely remove the passive and just give it like a ton of flat pin, like give it like 30 flat pin or something. Then it would be like, I feel like it could be in just a more healthy state.
I was actually curious as to why they don't have something that multiplies penetration.
Duh.
Uh,
For that reason. Duh. It's a
Well,
very
if you
precise
think about-
technical term.
if you think about it, the problem with Black Cleaver currently is that it's like you have champions that have AoE physical damage, like Garen, Wukong, Talon, and they're just using their abilities to shred the armor of everybody around them. And it helps their teammates as well. And it's too helpful to their teammates. I know it's supposed to be the helpful form, but it's far too helpful. It's like 25% at max stack. Which is
honestly, like AD, like bruisers and assassins don't even need helpful items. They only really care about selfish items. Like if Black Cleaver is designed to be like an AD caster item, it should just do like a whole bunch of selfish things to make you yourself more powerful. There's absolutely no reason for an assassin to be able to turn all of their abilities into like these team AoE armor shred. Like that's completely redundant.
So I don't see why, like, assassins really they have high base damage, generally, like Pantheon, Talon, even Xin Zhao has really good base damages.
Yeah.
So
Still
if you
refuse to believe that Xin Zhao is an assassin. That guy can stand and deliver like a boss.
Well, I mean, like any melee AD carry, like just you stack enough damage, like you get an Infinity's Edge or two on him, and yeah, he's an assassin now because he does bursts.
So yeah, I think I don't know. They changed the passive to be like multiplies the amount of flat penetration you have, such that you don't feel bad for building all that flat pen. It's basically like the penetration form of Rabadon's Death Cap. And so I think it won't scale out of control, so that you're not negating like 300 worth of armor if you combine it with Last Whisper. But it's still strong for that early game penetration that you want against the squishies.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Nexus turrets being able to kill invulnerable units?
That's awesome.
Nexus
I've actually experienced it on the proving grounds. You know, I was got Poppy again because nobody wants Poppy, so I'm like, I can play her decently. I might as well. So you know, like I did the usual ult somebody and try to kill them in their fountain just to make just walk off like a boss because just demoralize the hell out of them, and I died. And I was like, wait, what? Oh, I get it. Oh, so sad.
Now, this is... The only reason I bring this up is because I was scrolling through the patch list a little bit to try and get a little bit ahead of myself to kind of have an idea what's going on, because for anyone that's not in the know, the reason that there hasn't been a lot of content out of me is because my computer died and I moved. And I only just got things set up again recently. And once in a great while... Not too often, but you would get into that situation where you'd get 5 cap and you'd have everyone kind of in between those two towers on your side of the map. And I realized that it's hard to get out of your base in Dominion as opposed to Summoner's Rift. Do you think this will make this a little less dumb, even if by a margin?
Nobody ever really went up the ramps in Dominion anyway. Like, if like the enemy was like diving you on your ramp, you were either going to lose anyways, or like they were just going to die anyways because they were being stupid.
Yeah, you see the occasional blitz pull into it, which makes me laugh every time I see that happen.
Oh, I've gotten one of those pulls. It was glorious. Like, there was this guy just standing in front of the thing and like spamming laugh because they were winning, and I was like, nope, get over here.
I once watched a laser try and track Fiora during her ult, and that was the coolest looking thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Best light show it, right?
It just like, goes everywhere for a minute, and then she falls out of thin air dead. I'm like, well, that's different. Pretty interesting. The other things that are in general are, let's see, there's that admittedly specific thing with Javelin Toss bug. I'm not worried about the bug fixes. Bot changes stuff. They unbound the default key bindings for toggle health bars and toggle
Thank
minion health bars.
God. That is all I have. I have had that screw me over in the past. Like, I was playing a game and I was like, all of a sudden, like, all the health bars just were like, what the hell button did I hit? I want my health bars back. And I had to go in and manually
And then you just
unbind
start
that.
smacking your keyboard, like trying to fix
Yeah,
it.
I started randomly just hitting keys, trying to figure out what exactly turned it
Do the
off,
chimp smack and see if it fixes
and
anything.
eventually I just had to like go into a custom game, and just manually turn that button off because it. Ugh.
I really
Yeah,
wish we could change the key bindings not in the game client, because every time that I want to record a video, I have to like grab some random guy for a sound test and boot up the stream and stuff like that. Well, I wish I could just do that kind of locally at my house.
you can change you can manually change key bindings just in like a custom game by yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you still have to go into the. I can't just do it from while I still have access to everything else, like my chat and all that. It gets a little
Yeah.
ucky. Other than that, I think that wraps up general changes. Items is the juiciest part, so I'm kind of saving that for right before last. So I'm gonna item block you guys a little bit
Yeah.
here.
So, summoner spells.
We're gonna talk about champion changes.
All right.
Where were those at? I scrolled past them somehow. Okay.
Yeah.
There weren't actually a lot of champion changes. Let's start with the big one. Nami. What do? She was added while I was gone. Her splash music was kind of neat.
Nami is very. She seems very like average in Dominion. Like I know in Summoner's Rift she seems pretty good because like Nami is really the way I see it. She was designed as like a Summoner's Rift champion, like high base numbers, but very long cooldowns. And in Dominion you want like lower cooldowns than that. So she's kind of. You can get about the same effect with Lulu, but on like half the cooldown timer.
Well, comparing her to Lulu is not really that fair for.
True. Lulu is.
I do like the fact that she has an AoE stun, and if you max it, it's a fairly low cooldown. It's only 10 seconds at max rank. And, I mean, it has,
What's the radius on that AoE? Compare it to Vigor's Dark Matter versus Vigor's Event Horizon. Same
probably,
size, bigger, smaller, in the middle?
It's about dark matter, I would say.
yeah.
Okay.
It's about Dark Matter or a little bit bigger than it. And the travel time is about the same, if you ask me.
We should measure all
yeah.
AoE sizes
Yeah,
in
it
comparison
takes
to
too
Vigor.
long for Nami's Q to hit, in my opinion. It just makes playing her too hard. Like
about
again,
one and a
why
half
would I
Dark
play
Matters
Nami when I
wide.
can play Lulu and like almost one like the projectile's so much faster and the AoE so much bigger.
Not to mention, part of Nami's kit is kind of wasted. Like, her passive and her Tide Caller's Blessing are just meh. Like, the passive that gives her that gives allies increased movement speed is definitely for Summoner's Rift. It's for, like,
No, I actually
bottom
do.
lane.
I do like the increased move speed though. It feels nice.
I have trouble noticing it, and that's the problem why I don't like Tide Caller's Blessing as well, because if you buff somebody with it, it's very difficult for them to realize that they have that.
Hmm.
So, a little bit of graphic overhaul could go a long way on her?
That sounds about right.
Probably.
Does the
Maybe-
tidal wave look as cool as people say it does?
Yes.
The tidal
It's
wave
awesome.
is also ridiculously slow.
Well, I mean, it does have, like, 2,500 range.
Yeah.
It is also a tidal wave.
Yeah. I don't know. I see this big ult coming. I'm just like, oh, I'll just quickly walk out of the way, and it just goes right by me.
Is it as devastating as it looks like it should be? Or is
Nope.
it a little whelming?
Well, I actually don't know. Like, it has a great psychological effect on battle because if you stand there, you're going to get knocked up and you're going to get hurt. It's like
Why
it
can't Singed surf on it?
I couldn't answer that question. Why can't Singed surf on it?
He shouldn't get knocked. Like, he shouldn't take damage. He should get pushed back in the direction of the wave and take no damage.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be extra buoyant with all that gas that he has in his...
Well, that should increase the knockback distance. Why can't Fizz swim through it?
Oh, Fizz should just be like...
Yeah, Fizz shouldn't give any.
You should be able to use it, and an allied Fizz should be carried with it towards the enemy. He just gets in it.
Yeah, it's like while inside the tidal wave, Fizz summons 3 sharks instead of 1.
Oh,
Maybe if he ults and the tidal wave goes over his lobster while it's on the ground, it summons Earth immediately. It like ends the delay, so you could like tidal wave Earth combo.
Game-breaking champion combinations.
This
I
is
love it.
amazing.
Anyway, I also feel her heal is rather weak.
Yeah, I
And
actually think
fairly unpredictable.
I think that was intentional though. Like they wanted her to have the ability to sustain, but it not to be like game breaking. So it's kind of like Sauna's heal. It's there, it's nice, but it's meh. Like it seems to me like it's more of just like it's heal plus speed boost. Like that's
It has a bounce effect, though. Could you, like, if it if it hit one target, I mean, yeah, it would seem kind of sad, but so does Darkwind. If you get it to ping pong between two champs, is it significantly better? How many bounces does it get?
Like
I
it's
think it gets up to like 3 bounces, right?
yeah, but it
I
cannot hit
still
the
have
same
no idea
target.
how it targets who it bounces to, though. Like, I have not, for the life of me, been able to figure out like what sort of bouncing algorithms it
Hmm.
uses.
Luckily, it don't. I don't. I like the fact that it only hits champions.
Yeah,
It
that's
cannot
nice.
hit minions.
Oh, it just ignores that? That's kind of good.
Yeah. Otherwise, like if you threw that in bottom lane, it would just like
It's
hit
better than
your
Brand's
ally
ult.
and then bounce into an enemy minion and be useless.
Oh, man. That would
But I
be...
mean, theoretically, if you use it offensively, so if you target an enemy with it, and then it'll bounce to your ally and then bounce to another enemy, that's a lot of damage. That's like 330 base damage with a 1.0 AP ratio.
It seems like you could get bad RNG with it, though, and throw it at an enemy and have it bounce completely away from them through your full hit point team. Or does
Yeah.
it pick a set and stay
It
within that
alternates.
set?
It alternates. So it goes enemy, enemy, or ally, enemy, ally.
Will it repeat if there's none of the other in range?
I don't think it's supposed to.
It
Huh.
cannot hit the same target more than once. It's kind of like lightning.
Oh, okay. It's sad now. I'm sad about it.
Yeah.
I want to whip my heels back and forth.
Oh,
Let's
I
talk
guess.
about...
Oh, I
Oh,
missed that
go on.
sentence. Apparently, the damage and healing value is reduced by 15% with each bounce.
Oh,
That is why I
really?
don't like that spell.
It doesn't even say that over here. Oh, I guess
Oh.
if I'd opened Nami's entry, like, that would actually make sense. God damn it, Gandair. This is why you're not a top tier player and can only cast Hugh.
I I was talking with a friend, and he's like, "How are you this decent at?" I played a lot of Summoner's Rift, and I recently hit 1700 once, and then I fell back down to 1600.
2K or
He's
go
like-
home. Sorry, that was mean.
He's like, how like how do you play so well? And I'm like, it's all by feel. Like I don't read numbers. I don't fully read all the stats. I can usually just look at something and just figure out what's going on. And I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to read like charts and charts of numbers to realize that something's powerful or how something works.
Yeah, like you can like a lot of things like I discovered like just through sheer feel. Like when I first started playing Brand, like I didn't know what his numbers were. I just knew this champion felt really powerful and he was fairly easy to use. And then a while later I actually look up his numbers and it's like, wow, he actually does do a lot of damage.
All right.
Anyway.
So, how do you feel about this Hecarim change? Base attack damage increased to 59 from 56. Attack damage per level increased by 0.2 per level.
So it's a non-existent change in Dominion. I didn't notice anything.
I believe it's to compensate for the movement
Jungle.
speed change.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't go with
Oh yeah, the movement speed. He lost.
Because yeah, he theoretically lost some damage based on how the boots work.
that. Okay, how about Nautilus then? Shield amount increased by 20 at, looks like all ranks.
I don't know. Like, I don't really have too much experience with Nautilus, although I think he's a cool champion, and like I would like to see more Nautiluses than I already do. So anything which helps bring him up feels good to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like he got over nerfed because of Summoner's Rift, and so it made him a little bit less useful in Dominion. But I think increasing his tankiness through the shield is what he really needs, because that shield's cooldown is horrendously long. It's like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And so just increasing the base number on the shield is kind of pushing it into the right area. He's a really good peeler. I wouldn't use him for like a team that needs a strong engage unless you can land the anchor throws really well. But he is basically designed to protect a high damage target.
Yeah. Yeah, like like whenever I play like Kog'Maw or something, like I love having Nautilus on my team because you want to get to me and he's like, nope, anchor, nope, like snare. It's like, nope, slow, and like anchor again, knock up, and all the while I'm just wailing at him. It's like, no, get away from me.
Yeah, so anything that pushes him into that kind of pure tank role or the CC machine role is something that will help out Nautilus in the long run, I believe.
All right, Rammus +4 base armor, +2 HP 5.
HP 5 is not going to mean any difference in Dominion. Base armor, it's an early game thing. It's nice. Rammus was strong regardless.
He always
So
seemed a little fragile at the beginning of the game, but I play APs, so this doesn't really affect me very much. But maybe it will help him against people that have like high early game AA damage.
yeah, maybe. I don't
Again,
know.
it's another. I hate to say this, but it's another Summoner's Rift change. And
Yeah, that's really the truth of the matter.
it basically makes him a little bit more viable in the jungle because of the way the jungle strengthened. I know
So
this is supposed to be about Dominion, but you're seeing a lot of these patch changes are for Summoner's Rift.
yeah, we're supposed to break it down from the Dominion point of view. Are you saying that
Huh.
Piggy's base armor increase of 3 is not specifically intended to make her a better HP soak when she dives 1v4 on the windmill with her garrison to delay for that 8 seconds for freaking like painkiller to revive and like Pantheon ult down into the fight and start killing people? That's
Nope.
not why that happened? Oh damn.
Nope.
He
Poor
did have
Gandair.
Rammus for what Rammus is supposed to do. He did have low armor, which is kind
Low
of silly.
armor, a 100 armor steroid is low.
Well, that's the thing. Like outside of his steroid, his armor was
Yeah.
complete garbage,
Yeah,
which is
that's
kind of
true.
funny. Like you have these champions that are supposed to fulfill a certain role. Like Galio has I don't believe he has scaling magic resistance, even though he's supposed to be that AP tank. He just early game he cannot do it without the items or bulwark.
Yeah, that's true.
So how about Piggy? Sejuani base armor increased by 3, and Northern Wind's duration increased by 1 second.
Okay, the Northern Winds duration, I think should probably have a bit of an effect on her in Dominion.
I like that a lot. That's basically her primary damage source outside of permafrost.
And Blackfire
And so-
Torch.
Huh?
And Blackfire Torch.
Well, yeah. So increasing that by 1 second gives her a bit more damage, so she can be that kind of tank. Because she isn't really that much of a tank, so she fulfills more of the magical tanky DPS. Because her peels are her passive and her ult, and that's about it. Like maybe she can permafrost a couple people here and there, but the CC reduction of Merc creds just shuts her down for the most part if you're like a tanky derps. So increasing her damage will actually make her that threat and will, make her more into that soak of a champion where people will want to target her because of Northern Winds dealing more damage or lasting longer, therefore dealing more damage. So I think it's a good thing for her in Dominion. I hope we see more of her. Maybe high peoples can show us more said 20.
He used that in the tourney that I didn't cast, and I was
Yeah,
really
those high
sad.
people's in Vancouver are on stage and yeah, and Dominion. And it's done pretty well, I'd say. Like, she actually fight.
Your audio freaked out a little.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She does do you don't expect her damage. She does.
You're doing that part.
What?
You're cutting it out.
Oh God, it's probably my
That's going back to normal.
oh good.
Just a little lag spike, it seemed like.
Yeah, it's probably just my internet freaking out.
That's usually what it is. Either a cat stepped on the cable and it squeezed on a little bit, and not as many gigabits could get through.
We have to remember that he's a dog person.
Oh right. Your dog chewed on it, and some gigabits are leaking out now. They're like radiation, man. You gotta get a counter for those. So, most important change for champs, and this last one. LeBlanc new icon. A+, B-, Or F
Who cares about
approximation
the
sign.
icon? It's all about the splash art, man.
I like it.
Oh
More-
yeah.
More, it looks more professional to me.
She looks more
Like-
like a person now. Like she looks more human. At the same time, she's also a lot more sexy, and let's be realistic. That improved sexiness helps a lot.
I think
It does.
Brand kind of looks like a pile of orange now, though. That's a
I
really
don't care about
busy
the
image.
I don't care about the defaults brand art. I use zombie brand, so
Zombie Brand.
it's like who cares about the default anymore? But yeah, like I like the default change to brand too.
Master Yi's face looks a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed Master Yi. as well.
Mordekaiser actually I think looks a little less intimidating.
I hate the Mordekaiser Newsflash.
It looks like a 2010 art.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad personally.
It's not bad. It looks dated kind of compared to some of these crisper, cleaner images that we've seen on the Riot's art team. Riot's art team is just jaw-droppingly amazing. Every single thing that they make just keeps getting better and better. I would love to do a video series where I talk to every single artist. That'd be so expensive to produce. All right, guys, we're done with champs. We're gonna go to oh well, I have item changes before spells masteries. I guess we're doing that now. We're gonna
Yes.
talk about the items. We talked about them a little bit. Let's start with what got removed. Then we'll go to the reworks. Then we'll go to the new item. No, let's start with boots because I'm angry about that entire video getting mildly invalidated. We're gonna go boots first, and then we're gonna go removed, reworked, new items. Boogly hoogly, however you insert exclamatory phrase here. All tier 2 boots can now be upgraded further with an enchantment for a gold cost. Now these enchantments can be put on any boot, so you can have your boot with a boot enchant extremely similar to, if you're familiar with various MMOs, being able to put an enchant on your item or weapon, or if you played WoW, your boot enchants, it's the same thing. You buy an upgrade that you can put on any of the boots. So you can get any of these regardless of which boots you buy. I can't drive that point home enough because there's still some people that don't quite get that. And these are what they are. Alacrity, plus 15 movement speed. Furor, which that word always screws me up when I try and say it, so hopefully I got it right. Dealing damage to a champion with a single target attack or spell grants you a movement speed boost that decays over 2 seconds. What is this movement speed bonus? I don't know. I need to click on the thing.
I think
You
it's like
gain
12%.
12% movement
Yeah.
speed that decays over 6 seconds. And distortion, your ghost, teleport, and flash cooldowns are reduced by a percentage. Doesn't say the percentage unless like
I think it was 15. No, wait, I think it's 20%,
25.
right, Nix?
25 it says.
Oh, that's 5% better than I thought.
And it
was.
says that it stacks multiplicatively with the mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting that those interact with each other that way. And oh god, I closed the thing! Damn! Wait, no, I didn't. I closed the right one. I just kicked me to the wrong thing. Then there's Captain. Allied champions moving toward you gain a movement speed boost. Additionally, nearby allied minions gain a large movement speed boost. And I don't like this because I think this was Teemo's passive once. And it was dumb because of movement speeds being variable. You get too far away from people for them to gain the movement speed boost. But if they made the radius for it too large, then you just get that movement speed boost all the time. And if a slow champion buys it for some reason, you pass it and lose it, and then you get behind him and get it again, you pass him again, then it's weird. And then there's Home Guard, which is like sick OP
Except it was disabled in the minion.
Yes,
because
thank God.
for a good
It
damn
was
reason.
over. Yeah, that thing was way too powerful in like
That
I
was
tested it on the
just
PBE and it
horrible.
was
It's
It is
disabled in
limited.
Twisted Tree Line too.
Yeah.
Gnome knows what he's doing. Being at the fountain instantly restores your stealth and mana. What was I trying to say there? Being at your fountain gives you all your stuff back, and you gain a very large movement speed boost that decays. I can't speak. What's wrong
You
with me?
basically gain revive. Like
Yes.
a home guard. Like the moment you back, it's boom revive.
200% movement speed boost.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
It's
It
huge.
basically made it such that if you had this enchantment in Dominion, going towards the enemy mid or the enemy bot lane was a really dumb move because it was impossible to take it back, or it would be impossible to capture it. because it's impossible for them not to be there because of the movement speed boost. Not to mention your health and mana is instantly restored. So it's, oh, I'm low on health, I recall, I'm back bottom. Like, it would just make bottom lane incredibly more frustrating.
Infinite energy. You can plug a power cord into it and keep the lights on forever.
So I'm glad that they did not port that. They had like a weaker version of it as well that I was going to port over.
It was like half effect or something, and
That's still insane.
It was too powerful, so it just Gnome just put his foot down. I was like, nope, we're not doing this.
All right, so let's just gun down the list. Alacrity plus 15 movement speed. It's a flat amount. Good, bad, maybe.
I find Alacrity seems to be pretty good on like stuff which wants to run you down. Like, I would say it's probably good on bruisers like Hecarim, Jax, who just want to get in range before they start eating your face off, and the extra movement speed would help them get there.
It's probably the best out of all the enchantments out there because it's so like it's just generally good. There's never a time where you cannot use that movement speed. You know, I have it, I'm using it, as opposed to like Fervor or Furor.
Furor seems like it would just be better to buy a Phage.
I don't know. I actually like Fear personally. Like
it seems like it's easy to break. From a defending point of view, if someone with Furor is chasing you, it seems like it would be really easy to break that because it decays over 2 seconds.
Well, Fear is more of like I see Fear as more of a defensive option for like carries and mages.
Yeah,
like something like Kog'Maw or
for kind of kiting.
Like Kog'Maw or Vayne, like it would just really improve your ability to kite by just giving him like that huge like 12% speed boost constantly.
Kiting
like
or
Brand, it's actually really, really bad on Cassiopeia because like she has nothing that's like everything in Cassiopeia's kit is tagged as AoE. So like she actually doesn't like none of Cassiopeia's spells will proc Fear, so you'd be better off getting a Alacrity on her.
If you guys don't have them, I'm posted. That's the season 3 patch.
I'm actually looking.
And the second one is the Vi patch, which we'll get to later.
I'm actually looking at the patch notes, season 3 patch notes on the League of Legends side.
Oh, that's good too.
Yep.
It's basically the same thing. It's just this interface I can enlarge, and the other one I couldn't. All right, Distortion. We don't use those spells.
Yes, exactly. Completely useless. Well, I mean, if you're taking Flash, but the interesting thing is,
if you're using the Flash Alistar or something like that.
Well, I always find it interesting that it really pisses me off when someone flashes away on Dominion because I'm never expecting it.
It's like, damn.
It's like once you get high enough up the ladder, like nobody uses Flash because Revive and Exhaust are just so ridiculously powerful.
You did something I didn't anticipate.
Yeah, it's like when they do run Flash, like you just aren't expecting it.
Yeah, but it's just Distortion is useless though because Teleport is not in the Dominion spells, and then Ghost and Flash they're very low on the useful list. So overall, you won't be getting Distortion.
We talked about Home Guard. There's no Home Guard, so it's not worth mentioning. Last one's Captain.
I think it's underrated currently.
I think Captain is good on like if you've seen like Booberry's tanks, like where he just like plays something that just goes in. I think that's really, really good on that sort of champion, like that just initiating tank, because then your teammates are able to follow up that much more quickly.
Yeah. Also, if you have like a decent spread of champion roles, so you have like an initiator and then like a back row support like Sona or Lulu, if both of them get captain, then you always have that move speed bonus whether you're running away from a fight or running towards a fight.
That makes a lot of sense.
Ping pong in the middle. Oh, that's dirty. And you're not on a team? What? Dude, hire this. They're both free agents. This whole entire video is like reasons why viewers should get these guys on their team. You guys should make some pickup group teams for the tourney and like try and teach some people and see if anyone sticks. Be kind of neat. But they took Meki Pendant out of the game. Who else is sad?
Not me.
Okay, fine. No one cares about Meki Pendant. Regrowth Pendant's gone too. Is that bad?
Fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't care.
Oh, god damn it. Look, they took out Force of Nature. Like, how do we feel about this?
I'm glad they took out Force of Nature. That item was stupidly powerful on the right champion.
How do I initiate now as a tank?
You play Leona and you hit R and then you hit Q and then you just initiate.
Oh, okay. I'll
That's
write
nice.
that down. That fits on a post-it note. That's really convenient.
If you're like a tank that likes initiating, Odin's Veil gives you a lot of soaking about ability. Not to mention, gives you a decent amount of burst when you activate it.
Yeah.
Actually, now that we're talking
It's
items, I'm gonna see if I can pull someone in here.
You can also
Talk
build.
about I don't know. Just look at the stuff that was removed and go down the list for a second. Ionic Spark,
The stuff that
Force
was
of Nature. I reserve the ability to yell about the tenacity items, though. So,
um. Well, let's talk about the stuff that was added. Grez's Lantern. I think that item is a little bit too
it just
powerful.
completely runs away from my point.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just want to talk about Grez's because that item seems
All right,
it's
we'll sequence break that a little bit.
it's too cheap. Like it's too inexpensive, and like for like bot lane AD carry is like Cog and Vayne. Their little shtick, as like Comp put it, was like they have like an absolutely horrible early game in exchange for having like the most ungodly late game. And like Grez's Lantern makes it like you can't even punish them for like their weak early game because they'll just you can't push them in anymore. And it's cheap enough you can start the game with it and a couple pots too. I think like you can start with like Grez's and like 3 pots, and that's just really stupid.
Yep.
I
I
think I
think
got pancakes in here.
Oh
it's
really?
it's a bruiser item, and we don't need items that make bruisers strong as well. So like, yeah, it helps those AD carries that have really shitty early games as well. But like, if you have a Jarvan or a
I think
Zinzao,
it's completely unnecessary for the carries too. Like it it removes any of like their pen like it removes like their only real downside. Like
the
before there
bot
was a
lane.
choice, yeah, for like bot lane, like the way Confiteries put it was like for carries like you pick like Cog or like Trist or Vayne bot, and like you sacrifice your early game for having the best bot lane late game out of any champion in the game, and it removes that early game weakness. So now you just pick them, and you have like the most ungodly bot laner once you get your items.
I don't think that's entirely true because one of the main reasons why I used to love to play Caitlyn bot lane, but the problem is at the higher echelons of Dominion play, ganks happen so often, and if you're a carry, you have very limited ways to protect yourself. You are designed to have a support or a tank next to you, stopping people from killing you constantly. And if you're bot lane, you're in vision, and that Evelyn or that Twitch or that Talon are just going to walk up right up to you because they know exactly where you are and just blow you up and then walk away. And that is the weakness of AD carries in the bot lane. True, there are some that have incredible escape abilities like
Trist, yeah.
Trist or Ezreal, but I don't know. They use this escapability, and they've just gotten maybe back to their tower, and they're still diveable because they are so squishy, and they're designed to
Yeah.
be that way.
That is true, I guess.
And that's why you see bottom lane is a lot. It's a lot of sustain or just insanely strong 1v1 duelists like Jax, Nunu, AD Malzahar. They're these champions that can either build damage and get tankiness from it, like Jax, or who can sustain through just about anything, like Nunu. And so, I mean, Grez's Lantern doesn't really help AD carries all that much, but yeah, it can turn Vayne or Kog'Maw into a late game monster much, much sooner by allowing them to farm bottom lane.
What's up, pancakes?
Also, real quick, shoutouts to my
Hello.
rival, because rival I can't play because I'm doing this.
Oh yeah, he sent me a game invite too.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get a game invite.
Yeah,
Oh.
me neither.
Also,
Oh, I
what's
did.
up?
There it is.
I just added another guy to the call here. Introduce yourself to the viewers real quick.
I'm a complete noob to a Dominion. I've never played the game mode before, so I'm just here.
He can out commentate an empty slot on the guest roster about items, so I figured that was good enough. Nick's half-hearted. You guys cool with that?
Well,
So the guy who just joined us said Yes, he is. Okay, fine. This guy, Lieutenant Pancakes, also known as Naked April, recently name changed to NATO Rare Man, is,
Is that how you say that?
I think so,
Okay.
Is he Asian?
was and still
Okay.
is one of the, is a very, very strong Dominion player. Pretty cool guy, too, and, yeah, well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
coming on. It's good to have another voice here. Just to real quick catch you up, we talked about the boot enchants, and Half-Hearted's been talking about Grez's Spectral Lantern while I've been pulling you in here, and we briefly went over Meki Pendant, Regrowth Pendant, and Force of Nature's removal, and we're going to go down the removals, reworks, and adds. So you didn't miss very much in that item section.
Okay.
Alright, sorry Half-Hearted, where'd I cut you off at?
I think I was done. Next fixed what I was saying, really.
Okay. Alright, so they took Moonflare, Spellblade, and Cloak and Dagger out of the game, and I'm pretty sure 80% of people don't know what Cloak and Dagger is. It's that weird icon in the attack speed section that no one wanted to click on for fear they might accidentally buy it and get made fun of or reported for trolling. And Moonflare Spellblade, I actually am still confirmed that it had a very, very situational use, where if you went, like, pen, runes, and merc treads, or not merc treads, you went pen, like, runes, and you went sorcerer's shoes, and then you went, like, haunting guys something, then you, oh my god, you really need tenacity all of a sudden because you didn't look at their team comp, or you were like AFK opening a Coke or something. No,
Well, I've actually,
screw Coke,
yeah, I've
you're
actually
opening
been
a
in that
Pepsi,
situation.
and then you just get the Moonflare Spellblade, because AP tenacity good, but the boots are good.
Yeah, I've been in that situation exactly once. Like, I was Katarina, and I was like, I had like the full, like, just full on magic penetration build with like reds, quints, and my runes. I had Sorks, I had guys, I had Abyssal, and the enemy team had like, what was it? I think it was like Alistair, Blitzcrank, and like they had like two more stuns on top. And I was like, I actually do kind of need the tenacity, but I wanted to keep my Sork boots, so I went Spellblade, and it was glorious.
So there's no more emergency tenacity for AP. I think that if you scout properly and look at the loading screen, or at least have a teammate watch your back and let you know, like in a PM when you get back, hey man, you need to buy boots that have tenacity, then I think it'll be fine, right?
I don't know. I think it was nice having like just as an option. Like Moonflare Spellblade wasn't good. Like it wasn't even a decent item. It was a pretty meh to like it was a semi bad item, but it had a
Yeah.
great situational use. And like for that situation, I wish Spellblade had been left in just for that.
I like the second bullet point on the entry says this item was best used as a tenacity alternative to Mercury's treads when other boots were needed to fill a tactical role. Bam!
I do. I don't know. I never liked Merc Treads or not Merc Treads. I never liked Moonflare Spellblade or Cloak and Dagger. They just were too weak because they gave you tenacity. Like overall, it was just you get tenacity, and so the rest of the stats just suck, and it's absorbing a slot just for the tenacity.
Yeah, I found it more better, mathematically speaking, that if you get like Merc Treads and then like Haunting Guys or Void Staff in place of Sork's Shoes and Cloak and Dagger or Moon Flare Spellblade.
I mean, like I was rocking like the full penetration build. Like I had like tri-pin
Kinky.
plus void staff, and I wanted to keep my tri-pin. So
Well, that was also the time where penetration stats did not stack like they do now, where
yeah,
it was what flat
yeah,
pen and then
nowadays I would just sell my Sorks and get Mercs instead. So
right. So end game, you would have tenacity anyway, which is what you're looking for. There are also times where it's like, if I'm Vayne and I get caught with a CC, I'm gonna die anyway. So I
yeah,
didn't build tenacity.
Alright, so I gotta put Lieutenant Meteor Apron on the spot now. You're gonna go over Leviathan, Soul Shroud, and Heart of Gold we're not going to worry about Madrid's because it wasn't, or Madrid's Blood Razor wasn't in Dominion. So Leviathan was removed, Soul Shroud was removed, Heart of Gold was removed. How do you feel about that?
Leviathan. I personally didn't like stacking items on Dominion, or like, what's the word? Like Majaya's sort of the
Snowball.
snowball items. Yeah, because you die a lot in Dominion unless you're the best Dominion player, which I'm not. So I died a lot, and then I would never really get any stacks on the items. So I didn't really like Leviathan that much. And then really nobody really bought it anyways. Nobody bought any snowball items. They were
Yeah,
under.
Yeah, they were.
there's so much
Snowball
tournament
items are already.
data that
Snowball items are already disabled on Dominion.
Yeah.
Like, they've been
That-
disabled on
The
Dominion.
Leviathan was a Summoner's Rift change. They got rid of it. But it was also weird. Like if it
you guys
was
are going to want to
on,
watch the VOD because that was really funny from my point of view.
Leviathan was designed for like champions, for like tank role champions who like die a lot,
yeah,
and the
It was
premise
really
of the
at
item
odds
is
with itself.
yeah.
it's like you're playing a role that is supposed to get in the fight and die, but you don't want to die because you'll lose stacks, which will make you die more. So it's just really strange. So overall, I think it should just be removed. I think it'd be interesting if they did try to add some kind of like mini stack item, but I don't know, it might make Dominion a little bit too snowbally.
Okay.
What else is there? Soul Shroud. I was really sad about Soul Shroud's removal. I was probably the only person who built it, though, occasionally.
I know Wallach's got the mana manipulator.
Having a Kadir aura was really awkward, though.
What?
A Kadir aura.
Kadir? Oh, Kadir. I was like, what's a Kadir? Oh,
That's how you say that,
CDR.
right?
Kadir. It's
Kadir.
You just pronounce it CDR.
Like we're in a call with NYX87. It's how you say that, right?
But wait. You won't say CDR, but you'll say NYX? You can't just say Nyx?
Oh, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
It's a handle I've had for a while.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird having a CDR aura because it caused wacky stuff to happen with your cooldowns. Like, you couldn't always necessarily rely on having that cooldown reduction because it required an ally to be in range to be alive. So, I mean, ideally, you would use it to take the place of another item in your build. It's like, well, if this person gets a Soul Shroud, then I don't need to itemize for that amount of cooldown reduction. But then again, it was only useful people on people that lived for a really, really long time. So that's why you'd only see it on tanks, and more often than that, supports, if you saw it at all. And it's still, you had to be in range of them, or you weren't getting that CDR. If you plan on being at the 40% cap, you just couldn't. I think it was more of a gamble than anything else, trying to have that subbed in with someone else.
I think it just required too much of a coordinated team for someone to be like, if you have a Leona, Leona is like, I'm going to buy Soul Shroud so you can emit 10% CDR out of your build. And so, it just requires a little bit more coordination because very little people coordinate actual items unless you have a support and a tank being like, who's going to build Aegis into Bulwark? Who will get such and such support item such that we're not stacking too many and we're getting a nice spread of auras. So it kind of required a little bit more teamwork than is capable in solo queue or even duo queue. But what I did like about it is that there are champions out there that have a really tough time itemizing cooldown reduction without gimping their build or just like stacking silly items. Like previous to Black Cleaver, someone like Riven could only build Ionian boots and Brutalizer into Rageblade? Not Rageblade. Ghostblade. And that was like the CDR items that she wanted to build. But then if you're building Ionians, you're getting stunned a lot. If the enemy team has stunned, you're like, those are hurting you quite a bit. And as a bruiser or a melee DPS, you didn't want to be stunned as often, or you wanted to kind of shake those off. So it was a huge trade-off to go either tenacity or cooldown reduction. So if you're a support or you're another frontliner had the aura of Soul Shroud, it helped Riven increase in power because she could now build Merc Treads properly without worrying about the cooldown reduction that she's missing. I mean, that's probably just my viewpoint on that. I love that item. I'm really sad to see it go. But yeah, it did have a very worst case, best case scenario, and I think that's why it was removed. It was really wonky because it was a stat that was really difficult to see as well.
All right, there's a lot of reworks.
So did I just chew up all that time?
No, it's fine. But I'm thinking out loud here. There's a lot of reworks. Half-hearted, you start. You like Randuin's Omen. We'll just rotate around the four of us. We'll each pick an item and talk about it, regardless of if we know about it or not.
All right, so
So half-hearted, you'll pick next person's item as we go down the list. You get Randuin's Omen. It changed. Briefly go over the changes and how you think that they affect gameplay now.
all right, so now Randuin's Omen now builds out of let's see, where is Randuin's Omen on the list? See, control find Randuin.
I can straight link it to you in the thing.
Give me a sec. Let me.
I can get there before you. Bam! Got it. Done.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay. So I don't know. Like, it does give. I know for a fact it gives more health than before, and the guaranteed proc, like, it was changed from like the passive was changed from like having like a 30% chance to slow attackers to anytime you get hit by an auto attack, it slows your attacker's attack and movement speeds, which is it's a great like reliability change because you have a guaranteed slow proc now. And other than that, like it's just like a big chunk of health, a big chunk of armor, and has a great active, and it's. I would say Randuin's Omen is the single best armor item in the game, like as just a singular defensive armor item for staying alive. Randuin's Omen is probably the strongest armor item in the game right now.
All right. What item are you throwing at who next?
I don't know. I'll just let whoever wants another item just pick something.
I want Elsa's Miracle. I'm taking it. It's mine.
Right.
Okay, Elsa's Miracle before. I believe this was the. Hold on. Let me scroll it up to the thing. Okay. Elsa's Miracle was a tenacity item originally that gave HP 5, it gave MP 5, and it gave you a whole bunch of tenacity, and it sort of like took the spot of Innervating Locket, which Innervating Locket was crazy overpowered. But that's way back in time. And it didn't really give anything except look cool and have the word miracle in it, and I don't know, look like it'd be really expensive if someone actually made one. It didn't really bring anything to the table. It was health and mana regeneration, and it was a very hefty value of each, though. Most things that gave mana regeneration in the game only gave 7, and Elsa's Miracle gave a lot more than that. But now it does something very, very different than before. Your heal, revive, and clairvoyance cooldowns are reduced by 20%. And I think that's good. Anything that decreases your summoner spell cooldowns is always awesome, and I think has its situational usefulness. But at the same time, I see nothing on it but health and mana regen. Yes, it has the ability to disappear from your inventory, but in Dominion, you're not going to ever need the slot so desperately that you'd want to pick up Elsa's Miracle as a sort of an effective 7th item. And you're still... I don't know if that will get you in another revive or not. If you reduce it by 20%, you get 2 revives and a half in an average game. This might get you your 3rd one in a 23 or 24 minute game as opposed to having to wait till the 27, 28 minute mark. But I don't know how often that will come into play. So I would have to downvote this in Dominion just because you're not going to need it for the slot manipulation, and you're just, I don't know, you don't see heal, you don't see clairvoyance, and revive still, it would get you maybe an extra half of a revive in some games, and it offers nothing other than health and mana regeneration, which you get plenty of anyway. It looks cool.
That about sums it up. I will say that I would actually like to see more heal on Dominion. on like supports or frontline tanks. It could be a nice boost in a full-fledged team fight or in the windmill fight
Ooh,
at the beginning.
this is a juicy item. Okay. I'm gonna give I'm gonna give Lieutenant Pancake Man Black Cleaver,
Oh, Black Cleaver.
which I linked if you need the link for it. Yeah. So what do you think about Black Cleaver in Dominion? With the post changes.
Before, I don't think anybody really bought Black Cleaver, right? Like nobody
No,
really.
hardly at all.
It
Going
was
through all
a
the
laugh.
items and things like that, I mean, it showed up in people's builds maybe less than 10% of the time.
Yeah, and then now. Well, wait. Is this? This was. It got nerfed recently.
This
Because-
is before the unique passive. This is when
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, when it was crazy, because it was stackable. The effects.
This
And then
was
it
back
would-
when it
you
was
could just-
completely broken.
You could just buy 5 Black Cleavers, and that would give you like 250 attack damage and like over 1,000 health. But the effect, the passive, that would give you like 100% like armor penetration. It was stupid, but it worked so well. And then people would just stack it, and that's pretty much all you needed to do to win the game. You just stack it, and then that's it.
In Dominion Timeline, this is referred to as the Black Cleaver meta phase.
Yep.
Lasted what,
That
like
is-
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's very true.
Now, it was really recently changed to be unique again. I don't know if it made it into the patch notes. It just kind of was suddenly unique at some point. So now, with the uniqueness in mind, does the item still hold up in effectiveness?
It's-
Personally,
yeah.
I don't like. I still buy it, but only I don't stack anymore because, like, they nerfed the regular passive, and then they also made a unique passive.
I think Riot would like to use the word adjusted. No, changed. They say changes all the time. It's definitely what they did.
It's not nearly as ridiculous as it used to. It's still fairly powerful. And almost a must. Like if you do physical damage, it's pretty much a must buy.
All right. Who do you want to take next item?
So you Nix, go. It's your destiny.
I would actually like to talk about. There's an item I want to talk about. Crap, where is it?
If you don't pick quickly, I'm gonna
I
randomly
want to talk
click
about-
something.
Locket of the Iron Solari. It actually
Okay.
got a change recently that's I think is really really good. They eliminated the cap on it.
How come that's not on the list?
It should be on the list, and now it is. So we're going to talk about it.
All right, go for it.
This is
Well,
we were
trying to
talking
find a link
about
for it.
how I hated the penetration, like the way the new pen works, and how much percentage pen is out there. And this is one of those items that's like it provides multiple multiplicative defensive stats. It gives you hit points and armor. Not to mention, it gives you a little bit of health regen because it builds out of a rejuvenation bead. But that's like non-existent. It doesn't matter. But now it also gives you cooldown reduction because it builds out of Kilogen, which is really nice. So if you're a support, this is something that you would want because it gives you that cooldown reduction. The shield is no longer capped at 50 damage or like 100 damage that it used to be. Like it used to be an absurdly low shield that was useless.
Did they change the
And-
name of it by any chance?
Huh?
Nope.
No.
Why can't I
Still
find
locked
it?
with Iron's Alarm.
Keep talking, it's fine.
And so now it actually increases based on your level. So if you're like level 10, it gives you 50 plus 10 per level, so that's 150 to each ally of shield. So like in this era of Dominion where people are foregoing resistances more and more and hit points are worth more and more, that shield is going to be really strong once people realize that this item is actually good now.
Wait, they buffed the shield?
Yeah, it no longer caps.
Wait.
It used to have a cap at like a certain amount of levels. It like would only go up to.
It will now give you the full 10 per level, regardless of level.
Yeah.
As opposed to before, it was like 60 or something like that.
Yeah, it would cap like the per level only capped at like 50 or something like that. So it was like, why would you buy this endgame? Now it's actually useful endgame where it's level 18.
50 plus 180 is 230.
That's basically like a ruby crystal to your entire team.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
That's
good.
pretty cool. I didn't know they did that. Good call on adding that to the list.
No. Another one of those items I feel is underappreciated. But
All right, Nick stole my show, so I'm taking it back. Um, I'm gonna talk about uh, Warmogs because Warmogs Katarina was the best Katarina, and then they removed Warmogs. And now I'm gonna lament about this for a second. I'm pretty sure it's still not in Dominion either.
no,
Did they add it back? Look,
people are calling for it to add back though.
Warmogs is now Force of Nature, alright? And they took Force of Nature out of Dominion. So, therefore, if Warmogs equals Force of Nature, and Force of Nature equaled Dominion, this means that through the transitive property, Warmogs equals Dominion. So why is it not in my game mode? I just proved it with math, why it should be there.
Logic, it burns.
I'm lost, but I will say that I think they could safely add in Warmogs and it not be an issue now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
HaIfhearted, talk about...
As a mage player, Warmog just makes me mad because like flat health counters like everything my mages do. Unless I'm playing Brand, I don't really care. But
Well, with the introduction of Blackfire Torch, it should not be that much of a problem. And the fact
Blackfire
that
Torch
Deathfire...
is everybody knows Blackfire Torch is like overpowered. That doesn't count.
All right, then what about Deathfire Grasp? It's still there to counter high hit point targets.
I guess I don't know. No, DFG doesn't counter high health targets. It counters squishy targets you can just blow up instantly. Let's
Let's talk about DFG while we're on it.
Okay. Deathfire Grasp. Now it does. It was changed from like a 20% or so maximum health or current health nuke to a 15% like max health nuke. So now no matter what, like you could have like a 1 health target and it would still hit for like the full amount. Like you wouldn't see it, but it would still hit for that. And on top of that, for 4 seconds after you hit someone with a DFG active, they take 20% more magic damage, and I believe it's from all sources. So that's.
I want to say like the tooltip reads that says all sources, but I believe it's rumored to only be from the source that has DFG. I'm not sure on
then
that.
that's Riot sucking at their tooltips because, insofar as I'm concerned, it amplifies magic damage from all sources.
Yeah,
That's
Riot sucks,
basically-
dude. Like Trundle. Trundle's ultimate, it says like it reduces like all of their magic resistant armor. Like it
No, it
literally
does.
says it.
No, then it says it
the
reduces
game.
like in game.
just- Quick, play a 1v1 with me right now, and then pick Trundle.
God,
It'll
no.
legitimately say like some sort of weird thing how it's like all of it, but it doesn't actually do all. That's just Riot being bad.
It's not the first time they've on a tooltip.
Yeah.
I think DFG is a problem again.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of Eves now crop up again, and they're
Eve
just,
was good even before like the DFG changes.
well. Eve is like falling in and out of favor based on items, which is a problem because you have like she was discovered to be insanely strong when the original DFG that like dealt 20% plus a portion of your AP of their current health, and that made her like insanely powerful in terms of nuking a single target. And then they nerfed the crap out of DFG. She fell out of favor, and then they introduced Blackfire Torch, and then she's like suddenly so powerful.
Yeah, Blackfire
And then-
Torch basically takes Eve's I think what Eve was before Blackfire Torch, like she had like a really really weak early game, a fairly mediocre mid game, and her late game was godlike. Then Blackfire comes along and it makes her early game is still pretty weak. Now her mid game is awesome, and her late game is godlike, and like it.
Yeah. So it's like Eve's power level is just kind of going up and down based on items, which is
I don't know, like as far as I'm concerned, like all Eve really needs is like Blackfire Torch, and, like just a lot of AP and magic pen. She doesn't really need DFG.
You know what I think people do need?
what?
Mhm.
I think people need to know about Executioner's Calling.
Oh, that poor item. I feel so sad for executioners. It
I
did
don't
not
know
deserve.
why they hit it so hard.
It did not deserve to get nerfed that badly.
Um,
So what people do to it? Because I actually don't know.
they
I'm eating
removed
an M&M, so I'm not reading.
they
They
removed lifesteal,
Uh,
and then
that's all you really need to know. They removed the lifesteal, and
they
now
removed
it's a crappy
lifesteal.
crit 80 item.
Yeah, and they basically just adds attack damage and crit chance. Um, and it also they changed the grievous wounds to be on hit instead of an active, which is nice.
I think it's overpriced now too. Like, what's the current price on it? Let me check.
1900.
Yeah, increased like 550.
Okay, let me see.
While you're looking that up, this is a little off topic, but you can tell Avarice Blade and Executioner's Calling apart by looking at them if you don't buy them very often, just by knowing that Avarice is right, because Avarice Blade points up and to the right, and Executioner's Calling does not.
Oh,
It points to the
God.
left.
You know, like the thing about Executioner's Calling is like it costs like 1,900 gold now. Like, but the thing is like it gives you 25 attack damage, which is a pickaxe, which is nine. It's about 1,000 gold's worth. But like, I don't know. Like, I think that the crit on Executioners is severely overvalued. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they're just afraid of giving too many multiplicative offensive stats again for this season.
I don't know. Like it basically costs half as much as Infinity's Edge, but gives like a fifth of the stats. And
Well, that's what we were
just
talking about earlier, where premium items or the premium for higher tier items kind of increase. So, like the higher tier you go, doesn't necessarily mean the stronger the item.
but it is like Executioner's Calling is like half the price of an Infinity's Edge, but it gives a fifth of the stats. Like Infinity's Edge is just like you would be way better off just getting a pickaxe and a crit cloak, and then just saving up the rest of that gold and getting a BF and upgrading it than you would getting Executioner's Calling. Like it would be cheaper, or okay, not cheaper, but like you'd basically like the same
Better
stats
investment of gold.
yeah, much better investment goalie. So the only reason I would ever even consider an Executioner's Calling is if I were a Vayne or Kog'Maw or some sort of AD carry, and I want to be able to kill Mundo through his ultimate. And I can do that anyway because I'm Vayne or Cog or whatever, and I just outscale him.
You have to be really greedy to want to kill Mundo through his ultimate. And speaking of costs and greed, they changed Avarice Blade. And this is neat, because I don't think it'll come into play. I still don't think Avarice Blade's particularly good buy in Dominion, unless, you need it to get something else, like Shiv or Ghost Blade. The only reason I know it builds into those is because there's a nifty little builds into thing on there on the left, and I thought I was talking myself into a corner and was going to be an idiot. But no. League of Legends Wiki's got my back. And gain additional 2 gold every kill. This is possibly, I think, the smallest, most negligible gold increase on anything I could ever possibly remotely think of. There is utterly no way that's going to come into play except in the narrowest of, using a stir stick for coffee as a straw narrowest of circumstances. Because you need to kill 100 freaking people to get 200 gold. If you kill, your average kills per game is, on a really good game, when you're Talith freaking PA Riven, and you get 21 kills, that's 42 gold. You could buy exactly. That's... You can buy a beverage. That's it.
This is one of those Summer's Rift changes that hurts Dominion. Because, previously, gold per 5 items were terrible on Dominion. But, they weren't so bad that, if you were going to build Ghost Blade or DFG or Blackfire Torch, whatever built out of the gold per 5 items, you can at least let it sit there to kind of accrue a little bit of gold. Now you have this item that provides, 2 gold per 5?
Yeah, no, 2 gold per 10, so
it's
one
per
GP5.
It's really
So
terrible. It's probably a nerf for someone with Rift too, just because they aren't last hitting that often.
Well, there was a build to get 1300 ability power on Karthus that me and a friend of mine mathed out, which activates at I think the 32-minute mark. We figured it down literally to the minute of how long you need to have your GP5 items in order to have enough money to sell them all back and then have exactly enough money to buy all the Archangel stabs. It was really cool. We only got to use it in like 3 or 4 games because, I mean, he was grossly ineffective for the entire mid game, and his early game was fine, his late game was amazing. But that certainly doesn't work anymore.
Well, I do think the Avarice Blade was, like, they did decrease it by, like, 3 GP10, so that's probably a nerf for Summoner's Rift, too. Like, they hit this item across the board. And it didn't even gain anything. Like,
I didn't even think it was that strong to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, crit was good. Crit is a good stat.
Yeah, it's just a stepping stone item, really. I mean,
yeah. That's in general what the gold per 5 items are intended to be. It's just it sits there and accrues a little bit of money as you're building into whatever item you want next.
Yeah, and then Summoner's Rift was like, well, we're just sitting here, so we might as well just keep it in our inventory and use that as a primary source of income. And that was really stupid, and Riot thought that was really stupid, so they nerfed it.
Yep. I do like that Avarice Blade now builds into Atmas, though. And I think we'll see a little bit more Atmas here and there on Summer's and Dominion.
All right. So, Naked Pancake Man. You want to talk about Aegis of the Legion?
Aegis of the Legion?
Yeah.
They removed. They got removed. The damage got removed, right?
Yeah, they lost the AD.
I like AD because I always played AD carry, and then supports would build it for me. But on Dominion, I know Z-Mike was in love with Aegis. He would build on Malphite. He would just rush at Malphite, which was really bad. And then I didn't like Z-Mike afterwards. But the item cost got increased from the total, and then it's built off Emblem of the Valor, which is pretty cool. But what I really like about Aegis now is that, like, it has the tier 3 item now.
Yeah.
The something Bulwark.
Yeah, Runic Bulwark. Yeah.
Well, why don't you go into that a little while we're at this item too?
Yeah, Runic Bulwark is. I really love Runic Bulwark because now supports have more. Like, if the enemy team has heavy AP, now your supports can actually do something about that and then build Runic Bulwark instead of like finishing, I don't know, like Reverie or whatever supports build. And then it's just a great item for me. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
I know who I want to give Morello's tome to. HaIfhearted is going to get that, but I feel like Nyx is slacking off. He's probably reading like Equestria Daily or something like that. So we're going to make him talk about the Phantom Dancer change.
Are we doing Morello's first? Because
no. We're throwing it to you, man.
Oh, frickin' Phantom Dancer. Well, it's still that kind of holy grail item for the trifecta of AD carry builds. So you have like Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and it still kind of fits that niche. The only item that it competes with is Static Shiv, which I'm sure you'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But they try to make it such that it helps melee AD carries, like Tryndamere and Master Yi and Fiora, because it allows them to pass through units. And like a lot of people are like, well, that's not a big deal, but until you play Udyr and get like creep blocked.
Oh god.
Udyr.
Poppy, yeah.
Oh dear.
Or, yeah, like anyone who's like purely melee and has to walk up to their target for the majority of the time, creep blocking is one of the most annoying things and has led to a lot of missed kills or just pure deaths for melee DPS.
Especially when you try and walk around a creep, when you can blatantly walk around it, but your character stops to reconsider for a moment and then goes on, and you're just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it's just the most annoying thing ever. So I'm glad that they changed it such that there's another thing that adds that ignores unit collision out there. I'm also glad that they took away some of the movement speed from it in
Some of the movement speed, they took away damn near all of it, man.
They reduced it by like,
They like, hey, you want to go fast? No. It's like, okay.
well, it was just too utilitarian for AD carries. Like they were really good at majority of them were really good at kiting, like Ashe and Ezreal. That the movement speed just made them so much better at it. So I mean, it was kind of give and take. Like although this item also competes, I said static shift, but it also competes with for melee carries. It competes with Zephyr. That's another item that they would want in terms of attack speed and movement speed. So I mean, you're probably not going to see as many Phantom Dancers now since the nerf to it, because this is overall it's a nerf. They reduced the attack speed, they reduced the movement speed, and then they increase its combined cost, which makes it more expensive, or makes it.
And
Oh,
yet,
they
it
made
still manages to be like the go-to attack speed item when ranged carries.
Yes, yes, it does, because it keeps them. It gives them everything that they want: crit chance, attack speed, and movement speed. They don't really care about the ignores unit collision. So I mean, overall, it's.
I've seen
Kinda.
80 carries get stuck on the wrong side of their own allies before due to pull mechanics and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is always really unfortunate. Is everybody... Did Nix do a good job at answering that?
Yep, pretty
I
much.
guess so.
All right, it's unanimous. You're really good at talking about Fam Dancer.
So
Half-Heart,
good.
Morella's Evo Tome. Or, excuse
don't
me,
know.
Morella Nomicon.
I don't know. Yes, they renamed it.
Morella Nom Nom Nomicon.
I'm on the fence about this item. Like, it seems decent for like those offensive mages, but I feel like they nerfed the passive or the active. Like, it used to have like this. I think the active was on like a 20-second cooldown, like executioners, and it would just automatically inflict grievous wounds to anyone that like you just hit a button and boom, grievous wounds. And that was good. And now your target has to be below 40 health, and sometimes I just want to be able to kill Mundo when he's at full health and ulting, not when he's at 40% health and ulting.
Why do you hate Mundo so goddamn much? Did he
Because he's-
kick one of your multiple dogs?
Because he's a health tank, and mages hate health tanks, because health tank, enough said.
Is that why you started playing Brand? Because
Yes, exactly. Man. That's
it's all
definitely-
coming together now.
I hate Mundo, I hate Warwick, because anything which just has a ton of health regen is annoying to fight against as a mage. And Morello's lost, I would say it lost a pretty decent amount of its ability to deal with those champions, because now you can't just, boom, I'm going to hit you when you're 100% health, and you can't regain that back. Now you have to actually burst them down to 40% or below before you can actually apply that healing debuff. Although, I mean, once you do get them down there, you can just keep it permanently applied with something like Brand or Teemo. So that's, meh. I mean, it's decent if you're like a highly offensive mage. Like I know Confiteria said it was pretty good on Syndra. And I can see why. It gives decent amount of ability power, very large amount of. It gives a pretty decent amount of ability power and a very large chunk of cooldown reduction. So like. It's very strong for like offensively oriented mages, but I don't like it personally. That's just me.
Anyone else got any thoughts on it before I move on to me talking about an item because I feel like I want one again?
I will just say that I've always hated Morel's Evo Tome. It's just weak for what it does. But I mean, it's becoming the go-to cooldown reduction item, I think.
It's a nice
for
CDR
offensive.
item. I
Yeah.
was never particularly attracted to it before when I played APs, but well, maybe that's just because I didn't play APs that used mana. Like I played Feger, who I mean arguably uses a ton of mana, but between Equilibrium and Athenes, I never really needed Morellos. And even before Athenes, I'd get Chalice anyway, just because I like my sippy cup. And I played Katarina, who was like all cooldowns and stuff. So it's just like, what? And the only person I ever really had to worry about mana on was whenever I would play something that wasn't those two, which was pretty rare. It was usually like a Mumu or something like that. I wasn't really building my AP anyway. But, I don't know, the effect thing, not being able to click apply it, I think is going to be fine. But I think in this game mode, with the ability to kind of catch people, and I think it'll be a good gotcha kind of item, because it's like, oh, well, now what? I got getted. or however you want to phrase that. I'm going to take a bunch of items at once because these are complicated, and I know this will go poorly if I let you guys run amok with it. I'm going to take the entire tier of the Goddess Tree because they did some whack stuff with this. Now, where's those things that they turn into?
Oh man, I love Tear of the Goddess now because people made fun of me building Tear of the Goddess before in Urgot. They were all like, "You guys, you suck. Why are you building it?" And I was like, "No, man, it's good. It's good, man."
Okay.
But nobody believed me,
So,
and now
Because
I
it
think
was
it's really
crap
good.
earlier. Since the change, yeah, now it's good. But previously, it was really bad. You gave a lot of dueling power for mana regen. Anyway, go ahead.
all right. So it gives you 250 mana. It gives you 7 MP5. And every time you cast a spell or spend mana, I believe that's the new one on the new change on it, right? Am I high? The
Yeah,
or spend mana was just added.
that's a big
Yeah,
change.
high.
Okay. I'm sorry, because my computer died. It vomited uncontrollably. I had to clean it up. It was horrible. Or spend mana. Your maximum mana increases by 4. This creates, I think, more opportunities for you to stack tier. You don't necessarily have to be as spammy. If you have passives and things like that that you can toggle, then it's really, really useful. And I just think that little change is great and makes it a little bit better on other characters that couldn't necessarily farm it up as well. And other than that, it's like, okay, whatever. But then you look at it, it's relatively the same. Now, when you look at Archangel's Staff and Manamune, they give you, Manamune is going to give you 2% extra to your maximum mana. Okay, that's cool. And Manamune's got the same thing. Each time you attack or cast a spell or spend mana, and, Archangel's Staff gives you 5 extra maximum mana as opposed to Manamune, which only gives you 4. But Manamune stacks off of everything, whereas Archangel's is only mana things. You don't get the AA from it, which I think justifies giving it like 5.5 mana, but I don't think there's a way for them to do that. So it's a little awkward. But both those items still give you some awesome pasta. However, now there is an upgrade that takes them from that into Seraph's Embrace and Muramana, which I think that's actually how that's pronounced. Now, I love this so much, although I don't think we will ever see it in Dominion, sadly. So, that's 5 items that have the ultimate goal of being really, really cool, but the game mode is just not long enough right now to really do that. And I don't even think that with the mana use change or the, on-hit increase, because it used to give you only 1 mana every AA, and now it gives you more mana. So I think they're designed to kind of stack up quicker than before to give you that more mana faster, and now they have a possible upgrade. So it wasn't a dead slot by any means before, but now it has an extra perk if you can get to 1,000 mana. And Seraph's Embrace is actually kind of cool, where it drains 25% of your current mana to shield you for an equal amount for 3 seconds, which is basically Blitzcrank's passive, but we're never going to charge it up that high, unfortunately. And Muramana, your single target spells and attacks consume 3% of your current mana to do 6% of your current mana as magic damage, which is pretty cool, but I don't think we're ever going to get there. Guys, can any of you stack either of these items to full?
Yes.
Yep.
Singe can do it easily.
Singe?
I think-
They changed Singe so that you just keep you on. You get the mana.
Now, roughly what time do you get these stacked up? And what champs are the best at stacking them?
Singe is probably one of the best, as he can get it by the 9 or 10 minute mark, depending on how often he dies. And it basically replaces Rod of Ages for him, in my opinion.
So people that have toggle abilities are going to be really good at pumping this up. Because I
Not
feel like
necessarily.
these champs aren't going to be able to.
Not all toggle. Swain is. I don't know.
The toggle champs, yeah, they can, like, ones that have, like, ongoing effects like Karthus and Nivea Swain, they can charge it, but it's not really useful on them because they want a bit more tankiness or a bit more utility from the purchases that they have. Like, I tried it on Karthus, and I just felt like every time I tried to approach a champion, I would just get blown up. someone like Singed really wants Seraph Embrace because he's going to build resistances, not to mention his ultimate gives him resistances, and the shield will just scale with that. So overall, it's really gone Singed. Rise wants Muramana, whatever it's called, Muramana, because his Q will activate. It's a bit like it'll activate its toggle.
Oh, I misspoke. It's 750 mana now. Sorry, I said 1,000. I'm still used to the old number.
So it'll deal the magic damage every time he uses his Overload or his Rune Prison. But he can charge it up fairly quickly if he's bot lane.
Yeah, but if he's bot lane, how much mileage is he gonna get out of the shield? It feels like it's better suited on a top lane champion.
Well, that's why he gets Muramana, because he gets the extra damage from it.
Gotcha. So that'll be more for him. And then, so this is gonna be a situational buy. This kind of more champion specific. You think?
Yes, definitely.
Is everybody else?
I've seen Nidalee's get it, and it just ends up terribly.
Yeah, the last Nidalee I played against got tier 2, and she never charged it up at all. It's like, just, what are you wasting your gold on, you moron?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So what else do we got? God, there's so many items. We're never gonna get to the V patch. We'll have to do that like next time.
Let's just skip through like all the unimportant items, and just go for the other and stuff instead.
All right. Yeah, I'm like looking at Ginsu's Rageblade and Time At. We don't care about those.
Yeah.
I think I hit on most of the important ones. Like Lichblade doesn't get used too often. Gunblade not so much. I think the last ones that really noteworthy are Spirit Visage and Zeke's. I'm gonna open those up and take a look at them real quick, and I'll recap them real brief, and then we'll go to the. Actually, no, we're actually close to done with items now that I think about it. Because we just have to go over new items after this. We've hit on a few of them already. Spirit Visage. We talked about Spirit Visage during the Magic Pen thing, actually. That's right.
Yep.
Oh, well, okay, that's done. Wow. I thought we had a freaking ton of things to do, and I'm like, well, actually, wait. We got off topic in a good way. Zeke's Herald, 250% or 250%, 250 health, 15% CDR. Nearby allied champions gain 20 attack damage, 10% lifesteal. What changed about this? I'm not seeing it right away.
Zeke's Herald gained AD, and what changed about Zeke's Herald, in my opinion, is that the other lifesteal options got nerfed. Like, Executioners was removed, and Sanguine is really freaking expensive, which both serve to indirectly buff Zeke. So I've actually been getting Zeke's on a lot of my AD carries recently. Is like, if I have like anything else on my team that auto attacks, I'm just like, okay, whatever, I'll get Zeke's, and yay, now my team auto, like now the rest of my team lifesteals too.
I'd have to agree. They also increased the cooldown reduction, I believe, by 5%.
That's 80 carries don't really care.
I'm just saying, it's nice. Extra
Yeah, it's nice.
Alright. What do we got left? Let's see. So we've done... I'm looking at the new items now. I mean, the only other things are Time At, and you know what? For completion's sake, I'm going to open up Malady, Guardian Angel, Lichbane, Ginsu's, Time At, Gunblade. I'm gonna glance them real quick. Basic attacks reduce enemy magic resistance, 25 ability power, 45% attack speed, so it's got a little bit less attack speed than it used to have before.
It has that great passive, like it actually scales off your AP now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It gets your basic attack steal. It used to just be flat, what, 20 or 10 or 15 or something like that? It was a small amount, but you got nothing off it. But now, this is actually kind of like a real hybrid item because it gives you sort of an on-hit AP. And I think it'll synchronize pretty well with Lichbane. Like, I think if you're going to get a Lichbane in your build, you should also think about getting that. Or maybe get that before, even. I don't know. It looks good. Guardian Angel, armor magic resist went down a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
Geo is a rare item in Dominion.
I think that was all.
I usually got a bot lane to troll my enemy.
Oh, that's mean. Actually, I think if anywhere, that's the place it'd be most useful.
Yeah. I would get on, like, Anivia, so you'd proc the GA and then egg and then die.
You know, I'm taking like gifts / donations from people if they buy me the champ or the skin. I've been playing games with the build of their choice afterwards, and when I said that, 2 people bought me Anivia right away and are like, "Hey, play AD Anivia." And I'm like, "Oh crap!" Thankfully, there's only 2 more. I can only possibly get 2 more Anivias ever, so I'm afraid that I'm gonna end up collecting a whole set. I'm like, what have I done? It's horrible. Like I have attack damage. I have like Phantom Dancer Frozen Mallet Amumu after that, and I'm like, what are you guys doing to me?
Dude, Amumu has like the best crit animation in the entire game.
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
he?
cool.
He gets on his head and he break dances to attack his enemy with that.
Yeah,
It's like he does like the little Hitmontop thing, you know.
It's interesting.
I think the Lichbane lost on the ability power. Proc. It used to be 100% of ability power. Now it's only 75. Is that right? Lost
Yes.
movement speed as well. It used to be 8%.
It also deals magic damage now, though. Previously, it dealt physical damage.
Oh,
So
it's
it's a-
straight magic now.
Yes, so it's a change for the better.
Oh, I can't punch turrets and Summoner's Rift with it anymore. That was hilarious.
I think it still works. I don't know. I don't play enough.
Okay,
I
I
don't play
like
enough.
the Ginsu's Rage Blade change, though. Falling below 50% health grants you 20% attack speed, 10% lifesteal, 10% spell vamp to exit combat. This will save people once in a while.
I think it's still a really terrible item, personally.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's interesting. I like it. It's new.
It feels like if it's really late game and you're a fragile champion, you can pick one up and kind of fake them out a little bit.
If you're a fragile champion, you want that lifesteal from the start of the fight, not halfway
Yeah.
through. It's mostly for like tanky bruisers who can actually afford to take a hit when they're at half health.
I just like the gotcha on it. Like, nope, I'm all right. You're dead. Bye.
I think it would actually be a decent buy on Jack now.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Anyone else got thoughts on that?
not really.
There isn't too much you can buy on Jax and not have it be useful. So.
Yeah.
Time at melee only. I'm sad.
Time-At is... I would say Time-At got like a huge buff with Season 3. Like the upgrade to whatever it's called, Hydra, is like really strong. It's like AoE lifesteal. And like the active is, like 10-second cooldown for like just like extra scaling. Like it seems pretty strong.
So useful for machine gunning out damage a little bit now? As
It's
opposed
useful.
to before?
It seems like useful for like 80 melee auto attackers in general. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't really play them too often though, so I could just be talking on my ass. But it is pretty little-tastic with Skarner.
Hextech Gunblade, they took away ability power, they took everything. They took everything away from me. I used to build this item all the time.
Gunblade scales with AP now.
Yeah, but
The passive stack. They made the spell vamp stack again.
oh, what? Oh,
I did it in
Huh.
ARAM. I was playing Akali and I just
I
sat
gotta.
dumb.
Damn it! I was gonna say
Monster.
Kali.
You monster.
I gotta go for maximum damage now.
Oh god.
Maximum damage. Did you just say that?
Jax, do you ever watch my casts?
Nope.
Not enough.
Damn it.
apparently.
I love that. I don't get to use it because Jax gets banned out a lot. I like to throw it in though. Someone pointed out to me like, "Hey man, you have some like hardcore obscure running gags in your commentary. You know that?" And I'm like, "Really?" And he like pointed out a few of them. Like, huh? Like deforestation. Like it's only when a Darius ults a Zyra or a Maokai. Like, and someone pointed that out to me, and I'm like, "Well, yeah."
I think I remember when you started using it too.
It's because they were both in one game, and I don't know.
Yep.
And that's what inspired the Captain Planet theme game,
Oh god.
which we still haven't played. Kless has been asking
Nope.
for it. It'll happen sooner, hopefully, than later. Now that I got the command center up and running.
Soon.tm.
So Iceborne Gauntlet, it makes for a really good build.
Oh, I hate Gauntlet Ezreal. It's so annoying.
Can you?
It's so much
okay,
awesome.
So could you talk about Iceborne Gauntlet then?
Okay, imagine Sheen Proc. Okay, imagine Sheen Proc is now AoE and leaves a miniature singed puddle on the ground. That's Iceborne Proc Gauntlet. And what's more, because it's up every 2 seconds, or like because it's like Ezreal could basically have it up 20 like permanently. It's just like it's like a one point like with Ezreal, Iceborne Gauntlet is a 1.1k range AoE perma slow at like a 35% slow, and it's just absolutely monstrously stupid. You cannot get close to him at all. And I'm looking at new patch notes that are on the PBE and it's getting nerfed, and thank fucking God it's getting nerfed. Like the slow proc is it's losing 15% slow, so it's going to be a 20% slow now.
How do you feel about that build?
I need it. I didn't want to click that.
Do you
What
think that's
build?
a viable build in Dominion?
Oh God, that thread was funny. I will. No, it is not, but it is hilarious.
Okay. It seems like you're really passionate about Iceborne Gauntlet, so I figured you'd be an expert in the field, and I
I
should
it,
consult you.
I'm passionate on the side of not liking it. Let's just say that much.
All right.
It's too powerful on ranged champions. Like the
Yeah,
champions that can
that
make
yeah.
the champions that can use it effectively abuse the crap out of it, like Ezreal, Sona, any sort of support.
Yeah. Anything that's spammy and has ranged auto attacks is just stupid with Gauntlet.
So it's sadness, but buy it anyway, so you can win while you're sad.
Yeah. Well, it's getting nerfed, and like I'm looking at the current PvE patch notes,
Oh,
and it is getting nerfed.
so
But
use it right now.
yeah. So use it right now.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. It's got the half-hearted seal of disapproval.
Yes.
All right, Static Shiv. I want to read this one because I have to build it in my next play of Anivia for the next video I record. As
Yeah,
Bird of
fuck
Prey
that.
Anivia. 40% attack speed, 20% critical strike, 6% move speed. It's just a amped up version of... It's a sort of a side grade version, maybe, of Phantom Dancer. It's related to it.
Um.
But moving and attacking builds static charges, so it's really good for chasing. And
It's
at 100 charges, your next attack expands the charge, deal 100 magic damage to up to 4 targets. This damage can critically strike. How easy are those charges to build?
Charges build by auto attacking stuff and moving. Like, and I think that like blink skills and dash skills also build up charges. I'm not certain though, but the way I see it personally, like Static Shiv is like sort of like burst DPS. Like Static Shiv is like designed to give like your AD carry like a little bit of like AOE, like initial burst on your like first auto attack, but after that it's slightly inferior to Phantom Dancer. So like what I do is like I get Phantom Dancer for like just straight up DPS. Like if I'm playing something like Cogmaul who just wants to sit there and auto attack you, I'd rather get Phantom Dancer. But if I'm playing like I don't know like Ezreal or something who just pokes you, or like KO who like I don't know, but like if you're playing something which like, or if you're playing like a bot laner and you just want to like do like small like auto attack trades, like just like one or two auto attack trades, I would see Shiv being pretty good.
All right.
So basically, like Phantom Dancer for general purpose DPS needs, and Shiv for like just like those burst auto attackers like Graves or something.
I think it's just trying to fulfill what Ionic Spark was trying to fill, and it's still a terrible item. But it's just I like that it can critical. Nice.
It's pretty cool. So, First Sergeant French Toast Being, what do you think of Leandri's Torment?
Leandri's Torment, I really like. Although I never like. I find it like a late game kind of or mid game item. I would never go for straight Leandra's Torment after hunting guys. It's just like a better version. And at first I thought it was like Blackfire Torch V2, but then I read its passive and then I was like, oh, it's not
Yeah,
as OP.
it's an inferior Blackfire Torch basically.
It depends. It depends on the situation. Someone math crafted it out on the forums, and it's basically like for like 50% of the time, Leandri's Torment is better if you can get its max percentage shred. Like if you're impaired movement, it deals double damage.
You have to remember too that it doesn't give you any cooldown reduction, and they're like it's kind of hard to itemize CDR in Dominion. So
I guess that's very true as well.
What about
They don't
Zephyr?
play- I love Zephyr. I need to build it more. I need to play more champions that would want to build Zephyr, like Master Yi and Tryndamere. Because it gives you things that you want. It gives you movement speed, tenacity, attack speed. You don't really care about the attack damage all that much because it's very minimal. But it gives you, like, it's a stat stick designed to make AD carries more viable. But no one really plays AD carries or melee AD carries in Dominion currently. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to just like spam 100 Tryndamere games.
Oh God, please don't, please don't. Sauron has already tried Tryndamere. Even he was just, it didn't seem very useful.
But what if I make it seem useful? What if?
It was only useful when Sauron was doing Tryndamere bot against Necrogen's Fiddlesticks because he just walked up to Necrogen and killed him, you know. Like, that was useful, but when he was actually going top with him, he just got shut down so hard.
I've always thought, like, what if you just turn Tryndamere into like a tank and just build nothing but tank items onto him?
Yeah, he
Instead
seems
of,
like
like-
he could be an amazing delay.
Actually, I had a tank Tryndamere in an ARAM the other day. Like, the dude went, like, Warmogs and just built, like, just pure tank items. He did not build a single damage item. And I didn't really notice him at all that game, which is usually a good thing, because when I notice you, it either means you're doing really, really, really good or really, really, really bad, and it's often the latter. So
Waving
if
my
I don't
arms,
notice you,
can't
it
see
means that, yeah, like if I don't notice you in a game, it means that you're doing all right. And he built pure tank, I didn't notice him, so that must have meant he was doing his job.
Look, okay, no, I like this now, and now I want to do it because when I played Cat in like the first 4 months as a minion, I just like won all the time, and it's amazing. I'm gonna brag about that forever because now I suck at Cat because they took out Warmogs. It was really based off of having Spirit Visage Warmogs, and then getting like Riley's Sonya's or
35%
Riley's Abyssal
damage
Scepter,
reduction.
all this other stuff. But it was tank based. I didn't have a lot of damage usually. Sometimes I just built like pure like tank, and I would just run around back and forth on, towers and stuff like that with like the Killer Instinct Shunpo combo for the damage reduction, and I would just do that and delay and delay and delay and delay, and it feels like Tryndamere could do the exact same thing if he built him in a really tanky capacity. Build him with a lot of health, a lot of resistances and stuff like that. Walk onto the tower, smack someone, spin away. They start channeling again. You just walk up to the tower, you smack them, you spin away. And it's like up, up, up. Up, delay. Oh, they all dive you. Ah, I'm alive for like 6 extra seconds. Oh, right before I die for real, I garrison. My team's here.
Well, Katarina did have that like 30. Old Katarina had like that 35% damage reduction steroid.
Yep.
So like that was a really, really good defensive
It
steroid.
lasted for a second and a half, but I mean that was just
But-
enough to get out of range usually.
You get a refresh and it lasts forever, you know.
And combined with the Woda, because I would get Woda a lot, so it'd be Woda, Spirit Visage, Warmogs. I got all that health regen. I get all that return on the healing. I'd run
That's
Merc Treasure Ninja Tabby.
It sounds like my
Good build.
Wota. It sounds
Good
like
day.
my pure tank. It sounds a lot like my pure tank Wota Amumu.
Yeah, I can
is
do it
like-
a little bit on a Mumu too. I don't know, I love that build so much.
But we're getting a little bit off track.
Yeah, Ravenous Hydra. What do?
I got crushed by Croag, Plague.
Is that how you say that
Fiorabot
name? I thought it was Krog.
I think it's Krayog.
Yeah. He was playing Fiorabot with Ravenous Hydra, and I was
Oh,
playing
God.
Evelyn because no one wanted to do it, and so he could lifesteal. Like I would burst him down to maybe 10% hit points, and then he would just lifesteal through it all and kill me, and I was sad.
Oh my god, there's 2 items left. Wait, maybe. Ohmwrecker and Twin Shouters are all we got.
Is Omrak or Aven in Dominion?
I don't know. Let's
Oh,
pretend
no,
it's
it
not.
I
Yeah.
guess
It's-
Prevents
I
the
have
closest
yet to
enemy
see it
tower from
built.
attacking for 2.5 seconds. Oh yeah, that'd be insane. That
I
definitely doesn't-
think it's either not in Dominion or it doesn't work on Dominion turrets. Like,
it's basically just a better garrison. I don't.
yeah,
see, like,
I
see
think
problem
I don't
with
think
it.
it's actually in Dominion. at
Twin
all.
Shadows summon some things that are
Okay.
invincible. And...
Really good active. Really long cooldown on that active.
Huh.
It's like 120 seconds, but
Yeah.
it stops
120
people from
seconds.
kiting you or allows you to kite.
Yeah, Omwrecker's not in Dominion.
Okay.
I just checked. It's
So screw that
disabled.
Its
Yeah.
name is like Homewrecker, I think.
Yeah. It's disabled for Dominion because it is a better garrison. It's
Yeah.
too powerful.
Twin Shadows is anti-kite. It gives ability power, MR movement speed. So I mean, I see this as being something that people would like.
Mm.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, I like it. The only problem is where would I fit in my build?
You wouldn't. It's I don't know. Like I personally see Twin Shadows as like an inferior hex or what's it called? Sweeper.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah.
Sweeper actually gained movement speed now. So
Gives AP, MR, and movement speed, which I guess if you were going for Abyssal Scepter, if you wanted something that had the Abyssal Scepter stats, but you didn't need the MR reduction, maybe. But even then, it still feels like a stretch.
You would probably want to buy it on the bot laner because you have no wards. So
Yeah,
occasionally
like
you
just
send
pop
out.
the active.
I bet
If,
this is
if you
not in
think someone's
Dominion.
coming down for you, just pop the active and just watch the little ghost go out and see where they go.
Yeah. Although you could probably just get sweeper and sweep the brush.
Yeah, and you can do it. And it has like a 2 minute cooldown, right? And Sweeper
Yeah.
is like a 1 minute cooldown. So
Yeah.
So many actives. Guys, are
Yeah.
we turning into Dota?
Well, they did
I
put that
think so.
artificer. Well, they're
The
trying to
shop, the
make.
shop, man.
Yeah, Riot is trying to make good use of that artificer mastery.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if it like slowly went that way and we had a lot of time to adapt. But I think it makes it a little bit on new players.
I want to say that it allows you to customize your champion a bit more with the actives.
Are there any more items that we need to talk about?
Not really.
Good enough for me. Hour and 10 minutes on items. That's a lot of items, man.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so spells and masteries is all we got, and then we'll do a video about the V patch next week if any of you guys want to come back for that. I'll probably want to record it on Monday. Just a heads up, if you guys are bored and want to do shit, we could say that on here, like,
Oh, you can say shit.
yeah.
Oh
It's-
shit.
Oh shit.
Oh wait, we missed an item I actually want to talk about real quick.
Okay, go back. Go back.
It's called Mikhail's Crucible.
That's actually in Dominion. I like that, and I'm like, there's no way this is in. This
yeah,
is actually in there.
That's the best, man.
I actually used it one game when I was tournament game when I was a Zillion. I didn't realize it didn't have any CDR on it though. But
I think that's kind of a drawback. However, the active is really good.
It's got the Chalice effect,
Yeah,
mana
the Chalice
MR, mana regen. Tell us about that active.
And then you can heal a target for 150 plus 50% of their missing health, and remove all stuns, roots, taunts, fear,
Wait, it's a
silences, and-
it's a fucking QSS you can put on
Yes.
other people.
Yes.
It's a
Oh my
support.
god.
it is a support QSS on like a 2 minute cooldown.
It's 180, so it's 3 minutes.
Holy crap.
Oh, okay, 3 minute cooldown.
This
But it
item is
can-
ridiculous.
End game, it can make or break team fights.
Yeah.
You use it on either like that assassin that really wants to go in there, or the AD carry that's about to die and is stunned for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know Z-Mike has said that he likes that item a lot, and I could definitely see why he would like it.
Dude, this Mike's gonna end the world someday.
With his support.
Yes, the world will end in purple.
It's like
Now we
that
can move on.
Gogol Bordello song.
Start wearing purple.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
It's just like that.
I'm glad someone else listens to Gypsy Punk other than me.
Dude, that's surprising as hell, but yeah, that's alright. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we got runes, masteries, spells. Let's go with the spells list correct. Let's talk about barrier first.
Barrier, didn't it get nerfed? Like longer.
Well,
I think it was the shield was decreased for Dominion and Summoner's Rift, right?
Yeah. But-
Okay, so
and
what
the-
do you
the
guys think of
duration-
this being added in the game mode?
I like
It's annoying on Talis Ezreal. I'll say that much.
I would prefer heal over barrier. Still, but that's only on Summoner's Rift and Dominion because it got nerfed from Proving Grounds. That's
Yeah,
just me,
the cooldown in Dominion and Summoner's Rift got doubled on Barrier. Like it's 210-second cooldown in here, and the shield amount was decreased and lost 5 scaling per level. So who cares about that?
Yeah, and then the
And
duration.
the duration was half too. So I would say it's a situational item. Like you could probably make decent use of it on like squishy champions, like your squishy range DPS. Or like the bruiser who wants to jump in, you'd probably make use of it there, nowhere else. But even then, even then, it's competing with exhaust for the exact same purpose.
Yeah.
Speaking of exhaust,
Oh God, I hate. Fuck no, attack speed slow. Why Riot? Why?
I don't know why
God.
they did that.
That that was like the most retarded buff they could have given Exhaust ever, and Exhaust didn't even need any buffing. Like, it was already retardedly powerful, and they just make it even more so. It's like, well, oh, it's a 50% attack speed slow. I thought it was a 40% attack. Okay, yeah, fuck this. Ugh.
It's dumb. It's CC for the CC list, and it should not exist in its current form.
Yeah, that. Like,
Like if
the worst thing about like, Exhaust, like attacks, like is how attack speed slows interact with auto attack animations. Like, it basically removes an AD carry's ability to stutter step and kite like that. Like, because like I walk backwards and I right click my target. Now, normally I could walk back and auto attack, but instead like I walk back and I Cogmaw just starts slowly opening his mouth to vomit at you, but he never actually does it because it takes him too long. It's like, well, shit, you know, like you just throw my entire timing.
not to mention the attack does Jack as well when it hits. It's
That stupid spell. What was Riot thinking?
So, we do
Yeah.
have to say, rip in peace to a couple spells, though. After
Yeah,
we're
but
done
like,
talking about
yeah,
Exhaust.
but like, back to Exhaust. Exhaust was already incredibly powerful before, and now it's ridiculously powerful. Like, it's even more powerful than it was, and like, it's offensively, defensively, it's just absolutely stupid. There's no reason to like not take Exhaust if you're looking for just like an all-purpose king of all. Like, it's not even jack of all trades; it's like king of all trades.
So you
I
would
think-
definitely favor this over Garrison now, then?
It
Garrison
depends.
still, I think every team still needs at least one Garrison, but yeah,
Yeah.
Exhaust is just stupid.
5
Duelist-
revive, 2 Garrison, 3 exhaust.
Duelists will
Five-
want the exhaust.
5 revive, 1 Garrison, 4 Exhaust. You know, like why not?
We not take Garrison bottom, 1 Garrison bottom, 1 Garrison top?
No,
I see a
Take
lot of
Exhaust.
I see a lot of bot laners actually taking Ignite. Just
I would. Well, if you're going for like a kill lane, Ignite or Exhaust are better in terms of dueling.
yeah.
And if the other
Although
guy
if you're going
takes
for
Garrison,
yeah, and
then
if
you
you're
have
going
the
for
edge
like
on
a
him.
defensive if you're going for a defensive stall lane, you go for like Exhaust or Garrison. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal. That attack speed's
Yeah.
insane.
It's,
Well, now we know how to turn off an AD carry.
yeah. Yeah.
You F them, and they stop doing things.
Yeah, you just. Okay, so other spells. What are we going to talk about next?
Well, Flash's cooldown's gone up, but we're not that worried about that, are we?
No,
Yeah, Flash is not used it often, Dominion.
Clairvoyance, plus 1 second. If that only saw situational use beforehand, it will probably still see that situational use.
the mastery got changed as well, so that it reveals people who walk in for a certain amount of time, which is interesting.
Tags them a little bit.
I'd
Kind of
say
like
it's-
old sweeper.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Infine's Nunu bot has like he's actually run CV a couple times and it has pretty good utility. Like it's good in that situational use.
It's one of those things that requires a team to know what to do with the information.
Yeah, like I wouldn't use it if like in solo queue. Like it seems like mostly pointless for that. But like if you're like top tier play and like you have players that are all communicating and like they know like you see an area of the map and now you can communicate like what you know based on what you did or didn't see, and like that's actually pretty strong. But again, it's still all situational.
How about healing clarity?
Clarity is still useless.
Yep.
Clarity's useful on proving grounds. So if you have like a mana heavy team, you run 2 clarities and boom, you never buy another mana potion.
Just buy a mana manipulator.
Fuck that.
That's not
Clarity.
Dominion.
Clarity gets you style points. You know, it's just you push a button and bling.
How many style points do you need to unlock the bonus stage?
I don't know.
Damn. I was hoping you would.
It's a lot.
Alright. So I'm throwing these two over to,
Not me, right?
No, I haven't talked in a while. Alright. Promote and Surge. Look, Surge was cool because it made your Cho'Gath as big as the moon.
Yes. Yes.
If you got like Lulu Cho'Gath Storm Shield Surge combo, you could just be like the Lord of the Harvest and stand in the middle of the lane, and minions get stuck behind you like, hey, I can't see around this. They start honking their little minion horns, and you're just like, I can't hear you from up here, little minions. Fear not, I will handle this tower on my own. And you
You're
walk onto
so
the tower.
big. You're so big. The enemy team can't click your teammates. They can only click you.
Exactly. You body block everyone. You're this giant umbrella of void creature from Australia, and you like walk onto the tower. There's no room for them. They get pushed off by your excessive mass, and then everything wears off. You're tiny, and everyone kills you. It makes you feel really good for 2 seconds, and is incredibly reassuring. But then you die.
The most badass 2 seconds in all of League of Legends.
And I forgot promote existed until I read this. So,
They moved it to Banner of the Commander, which is
Oh.
Yeah, Banner of Command. Yeah.
Well,
it now has a 2-minute cooldown promote active, I believe.
Rip in peace, Surge, promote.
and now you can't run Surge and Shen with Surge,
Aww.
which is sad.
Is there anything in Masteries that's noteworthy? Everything in Masteries seems pretty straightforward. Is there anything that stands out?
Utility tree is still, I would say, I'm going to say utility tree is still underpowered. Like I just run like either 921 or 21-9 everything, and just except for that one point in Summoner's Insight, I just ignore the defense tree. I mean utility tree.
I don't know, I've been ignoring the defense tree now since the penetration changes, because it's like, if I'm running a squishy caster or carry, I'm going to get blown up anyway, so I might as well have like extra cooldown reduction or on my summoner spells or something, instead of like that extra 3 points of armor or whatever.
I do like durability though, like durability and veteran scars, like that extra health, and like I don't know, like to me personally, like the real reason you go into the defense tree is for like the all the tenacity bonuses and reinforced armor.
Well, yeah, you'll do that for like you'll do that for like the tankier champions like Jarvan and like Leona. But if you're running like Brand or I don't know, Vayne, you go 2109.
I don't know what you're talking about next. When I go Brand, I go 921.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but you're doing it wrong.
You're a bad friend, man. You suck.
I know, right?
Worst brand NA.
Oh, God.
Confirmed for Tripe.
Let's say like LeBlanc. LeBlanc doesn't give a damn about the
Yeah,
defense.
LeBlanc doesn't care about the defense tree at all.
So she'll go
I'll
like
with you.
2109 instead.
Yeah, I probably should run like that, at least for that movement speed. I should go into utility more often, but blah, utility. I'm just personally biased against utility because yay health, you know.
All right. Can I talk about runes? Are we good on mastery changes?
Yep.
All right. Rune changes. All the pen went down by on average of 0.1.
Yeah. It's to accommodate the way penetration works now.
Yeah. Which is pretty funny because they buffed pen a while back. And I'm like, whoa, we buffed pen again. It's double buffed. Oops, no. It's too buffed. We have to unbuff it. We're going to give it World of Warcraft, and it's going to lose some muscle mass. And I played WoW for a really long time. I loved that game. But I just don't have time for it anymore. And, guys, I think we're running out of things to talk about. I got to the bottom of the list, and it's like, oh dear. That's basically it. Blade of the Ruined King on Summoner's Rift. We don't care about that. Another blade has a particle effect.
I really wish they would
effects on
move.
things.
I really wish they would put Blade of the Ruined King on Dominion, but
No. Because bruisers, it's like the perfect bruiser item.
Oh God, no! Don't want. Really don't. No, you're
I think
wrong.
they're strong on AD carries. It would give them a way to peel for themselves, and
Everyone.
It would give bruisers a way to chase down AD carries, though. Like you have to think about it like the other way around. Like it gives you a means to slow attackers, but also gives you a means to chase someone down.
Everyone in favor of vetoing Nyx, say aye. Aye.
I
aw.
That's it. You're off the development team. That's a pretty sick item, but
Yeah,
You got outvoted.
yeah, it's too powerful. Like for AD carries, actually, I would say they prefer Sanguine just because like it gives them more AD to scale off of. And it just makes their auto attacks hit harder.
All right. You guys wanna close it out?
Well, I will say one thing about Blade of the Ruined King on carries though. Like
All right.
my brother managed to just coerce me into playing ranked Summoner's Rift yesterday.
Yay!
And I did get a Blade of the Ruined King, and when I went to the 1v1 duel with like the enemy Varus, like I just hit I just hit the Blade of the Ruined King active on him, and like, oh my god, I just chunked the hell out of him. Just press 2, auto attack him twice, and he's dead. It's like that was. So I will give it that.
All right.
That was fun.
Okay. Well, let's where my buttons go? Okay. All right. You guys want to hear me do the V patch segment?
Sure.
The V patch happened. Video at to be announced date. Oh my gosh, that took 5 seconds. Holy crap! Fastest segment ever. I'll have to give him a timestamp. Outro. We'll just go back to everybody and be like, "Hi, we're these guys, and we like these people." You guys all go in whatever order you feel like, and then I'll close out the show. I'll start picking
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Insert crickets here.
I'm on YouTube. I could find that.
We're
Oh
too-
god. Okay, I guess I'll start. Okay, so once again, I'm half-hearted. I like to play mages. I like to play ranged TDs. I basically like to play anything that plays like a coward because I'm like that. I just poke you and then run away. And I like to play the minion. Although the minion does require you to main up a bit, so I had to kind of learn how to deal with that. But yeah, I'm half-hearted.
I'm Nix87. I play bottom lane typically, although I really love playing assassins as well. Generally, champions that are in your face and blow you up in a matter of seconds are my favorite.
Hi. That's
You're
my
the best
shit.
guest I've had in
And
like
that's
3
Lieutenant Pancake.
episodes. Dude, you are the best private first class breakfast confectionery treat creature.
Okay.
All right, and
Yeah,
I'm. Oh, gone. Sorry.
Gandair,
Sorry.
you're
By the way, Pancakes, your most recent name. What's the basis behind that? I've just been wondering.
Well, I'd rather not dig deep.
Yeah. Wait, did I cut off or did you guys cut off?
I'm here.
Okay, so we'll just leave it at that. He doesn't
You
want to go
scared him.
into it.
All right, we don't have that drill. We'll have to borrow it from Misha's hair. Someone gets that, and that makes me happy. I'm Gandair of the gaming clan Vato Clan. This has been the Dominion Breakdown, episode 2, talking about the preseason patch changes for season 3. And next week, I guess we're gonna talk about Vi's patch and talk about her a little bit. And I'll see what guests I can lock down for that. And also in the coming future, I want to talk about champions. Looks like we're going to have an episode about Brand and Nivea and Zerath at some point, comparing how they're the same but different. They look like they're similar on paper, but they play in a very different way. And also I want to get teams on here to talk about themselves and things like that. If you like Dominion, you should join the chat channel. It's on the North America server. It's Dominate Dominion. Or if you're on Europe West, the chat channel is named Dominion. DominateDominion.com is a great website that runs tournaments weekly for League of Legends Dominion. So if you're into that, you can check that out there. I do casting for them. They're cool guys. And for now, that's all I got. I'm Gandair. Hit the follow button, the subscribe button, the like button. Whatever buttons you feel like clicking. Just don't close the page until the video's over. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching.